1, 2, 3.
What's that first step?
Hello, and welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. You should always watch that first step. I mean, it's just safety first, you people. Welcome everyone. It's gonna be a good show. It's a special show here tonight because it is CameoFest 1996.
Let's see where the night takes us.
Let's see where the night takes us. It's gonna be a wild one. The sun can get in my face here. It's like, a nice sunset out there.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it got nice by the end of the day today. You know what? I am your host.
I don't need my psychic abilities to know that you wish it had been you.
Look, some people go to space. Some people get to host the X-Rated X-Men animated review show. I'm happy with the lot I have, but it's not for everyone.
I didn't go to
I am the
space.
Davan of Borneo. What?
They went
And
to
with
time
me,
prison.
you hear him talking there about time prison is my co-host.
The throne should have been mine. Now it shall be.
Is the throne finally mine?
What?
Yes. Is the throne finally mine? I've been waiting ever so long, patiently, calculating,
This is
biding
the
my
first-
time.
This is the first I'm hearing about this. My co-host, Mylock. How's it going there, Mylock?
Not too shabby there, Dev man. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. You excited about CameoFest 1996?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it, so yeah, I'm more. It reminded me of. So I was listening to the Under the Influence podcast today, and they're talking about
Under the influence.
So they're talking about how Ted Lasso, the TV show, started out as an ad campaign for some American channel getting the rights to show a bunch of English football. They took a character he did on SNL about a coach apologizing for all the shit his team did, and then they put that character in like an American football coach doesn't know anything about soccer, and then they kind of work that into the show later. But there's a point where someone says, he goes, "Are you excited to find out about if your team is going to fall into regulation or not, Mr. Lasso?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm very excited to find out what the definition of regulation is." That's me. What is the definition of CameoFest?
Well, the definition
I'm
of
guessing this
CameoFest
sparked
is...
from a very brief conversation we had where I said this episode was like a CameoFest.
Of course. I turned everything into a...
You took that and ran. You took that ball.
I do that with everything.
Ran. You ran
everything.
so far. I couldn't even keep up with whatever this is. So I'm excited to find out.
Look, every time I tried to run with the ball in rugby, I couldn't make it more than a couple feet. So ever since then, I run.
You're
I
a
run
tiny
with
guy.
everything.
You should have been a good rugby player.
Well, I was the guy they grabbed by their underpants and threw up into the air to grab the ball.
Well, you're supposed to be fast. You don't get cut.
You don't want that. Yeah. Oh man, I wasn't fast enough. Not a chance. Yeah, CameoFest. Well, look. All I can say to that is,
let's see where the night takes us.
All right.
Anything could happen.
I'm in.
Anything could happen.
Let's find out where this night indeed will take us.
But we'll carry on as usual and see if anything happens. We're here to review Season 4, Episode 19, Beyond Good and Evil, Part 2, Promise of Apocalypse.
Doesn't really make a lot of promises.
Yeah, what was his promise?
Even one that I distinctly remember.
Written by, did we figure out if this is Jan Strand or Jan Strand?
You're the one who always says it, so you're the one who should have figured that out.
I don't know. I just don't know. This is the only one that gives me anxiety.
Is it a male?
I don't know that. I should have looked that up.
If it's a female, then it's probably Jan for Janet, but
you're right.
If it's a male, he's probably a foreigner.
I just don't know.
Well, you keep talking and I'll look it up.
Well, you know what? I've been spelling this wrong. I've been correcting spelling that I never should have corrected. Holy shit. I figured all this out. I figured it out right here live on the show. It's Yan. Oh my God. How is it spelled? Strnad.
Strand.
No. Like this.
Strand.
Like this. Sternad.
Are you sure that's correct?
Yes, I just looked it up, and I've seen it like this. I think, right? Yeah,
You're crazy.
it's
Oh yeah,
it's
no, that's
Sternad.
you're right, Stranad.
Yeah, and it is a fellow.
It's a man, so yeah, I'm guessing it'll be Yan then.
Yeah,
It
Jan
could still be Jan. It
Sternad.
could be short for Janice or something else. It looks like a Serbian type name with a name like Stranad.
No, well, I'm glad we figured it out.
Well, he worked in Darkwing Duck and RoboCop and
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff.
Mhm. And directed by Larry Houston.
Of course, the Hugh Man.
Yeah, but look, this is almost a bit of a swan song here for the Hugh Man. I think he's only got 2 more episodes left.
Oh, is he replaced after this with someone else?
I think he leaves to run another show.
If only he would come on the show and we could ask him.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
Davan lies awake at night just crying into his pillow. Damn you, Larry. Why won't you answer my call?
Oh, I would
Come
never
on my
damn
show, Larry.
sweet Larry.
Show. Sweet
It's
Larry.
an open caller night. That's what.
Yeah, we gotta have one of those, like an open call-in show. Anybody call in? Larry just drunkenly calls in. Stop asking me to come on your show, Davan, you piece of shit.
I don't know if I'd call it that, Sam, but what I would call it is CameoFest 1996.
Who would have been in cameos in 1996? Well, there is the band Cameo from the 80s. It had the very popular song, Word Up. Around the world, got a weird thing to show you. So tell all the boys and girls, word up, up, up. There you go. You got it. Get out that bass guitar.
Everybody around the world.
Got a weird thing to show you. So tell all the boys and girls. Korn does a really interesting cover of that.
Oh, that's a great song. Yeah, man. Cameo. Listen to this Cameo, everybody. That's a good recommendation right there.
Or the popular online celebrity service in which you pay hundreds of dollars to get a 1 to 2 minute clip from a celebrity wishing you a happy birthday or happy divorce or happy wedding or whatever someone paid for to get them to wish you something.
Happy divorce from Ryan Reynolds.
People have used it to tell their significant others they want a divorce. So it does happen. Maybe it would soften the blow if it was like Tom Hanks telling you. I don't think he does that, but Snoop Dogg or the guy that played Dwight on The Office or somebody, Rainn Wilson or somebody telling you that, maybe it would soften the blow.
What are we drinking tonight?
Jameson Stout Edition. How about you?
Kilbaggin.
Nice. Also an Irish
traditional
whiskey.
Irish whiskey.
Look at us. On
yeah, man.
Both on the Irish whiskey train.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
All right. Well,
so we're gonna get it. How does this CameoFest work, by the way? You better
previously on X-Men.
That's how that works.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. It's probably very important.
What is this place? Why have you kidnapped me?
Because I told him to.
Most people don't.
Maybe the best ending to an episode ever.
Most people don't realize. Most people don't realize that one of Apocalypse's latent mutant powers is extreme drama. Drama. He just needs to
He's the best at it.
Yeah.
He chews scenery like nobody.
That's true.
After thousands of years, you really learn how to chew that scene.
That voice is pretty fantastic, especially with all the noise of the like the servos and all the weight of him. They really do a good job of making him seem like a real threat, like something that's a little with a lot of gravitas. They do a very good job.
Yeah, man. Well, take her away.
Well, sir, we begin the episode with. Oops, let me skip past the intro here. And we shouldn't do that normally, but we begin the intro while it's actually in the episode. It's spelled written by Jan Strand, Strand. So that might be a pen
Yeah,
name.
see. But
And I
I've looked
literally
it up
just
and I've
paused
seen
it
that
on.
misspelling.
I've literally just paused it on the
Yeah.
screen, and that's the name that came up, Strand. But if you Google it the other way, or IMDb it the other way, it gives them all his credits. So it could be a pen name, or it could be a misspelling in general. Sorry about that.
What one do we go with? Do we go with Strand or Sternad?
I mean, it says Strand on the episode, so yes, and it has in all the other ones, and everything else I read, it says Strand. So I'll stick with that for now.
All
I
right,
guess.
I'm going back to Strand. Sorry, Sternad. You're now Jan Strand again.
So we catch a space battle going on, and what we soon come to find out is in the Shi'ar Empire, in which various soldiers are shooting at ships which are attacking the main citadel. One of the ships gets through, blasts a hole in the door, and reveals itself to be Deathbird, who is the sister of Lilandra, who is this is her coup in order to take over the Empire, basically, after their brother failed before with the Phoenix Saga. So, while this is going on, Gladiator shows up to save the day. There's a big fight between Deathbird's people and Gladiator. Gladiator.
You promised to destroy Lilandra!
I lied. Farewell, Empress.
What a dick. So,
Promise
basically.
to destroy the Empress, X-Dan, our first cameo of CameoFest 1996.
Yeah, well, no one lies quite like Apocalypse lies.
That's pretty great.
Because he told you to!
He told you to.
So we soon find out here that Deathbird was promised assistance from Apocalypse. That Apocalypse only agreed to do this to gain access to the Oracle, who is Lilandra. No, Lilandra herself, isn't it? Is it Lilandra he took away?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Who Apocalypse?
Apocalypse, yeah.
They kidnapped Jean.
No. Right now, in the episode, he kidnaps Lilandra.
You got a little background noise happening there, X-Dan.
Hmm.
No, now it's good. You're good now.
So, it seems like Apocalypse is going to help them capture Lilandra, but actually he wanted, is it Oracle? Is that her name? Not Oracle. Who is that her name? Okay, yeah. So the one of her guard, the Praetorian Guard there.
Courtier.
What?
He calls her the courtier of the Shi'ar Empire.
Yes. So it's funny because like he has Lilandra, then he just drops her, and then he picks up like the other one, and then Deathbird comes in and goes, "You said you'd help me," as you just played, and he's like, "I lied." And then he just goes back through the portal, which is pretty fantastic, I must say. How are you, X-Men Dan? How are you feeling about?
Yeah, man. How you doing, X-Man Dan?
You're muted currently, so
I'm doing well. It's loud here, but yeah, so well enjoyed Apocalypse going and in every episode. Sorry to have surprised you there, Mylock. Bit of a shit, but despite my 300 pounds of raw adamantium skeleton, I'm quieter than you'd think. Samurai skills, ninja training, and all that. Yeah.
Being that Davan still hasn't explained what CameoFest means, I'm going to guess that various folks are going to cameo in the episode.
They may or may not have limited understanding of what CameoFest is also.
Okay, so
I explain very little to as many people as possible.
Oh, great.
Oh, no, he took Oracle.
That's
Who
right.
do we say?
I said Oracle. At first, I wasn't sure if I had the name right, but then no one corrected me, so I just leaned into Oracle, and I guess I was right. For some reason, I get Oracle and Destiny mixed up sometimes because Destiny's, I don't know. Destiny looks like she should be called Oracle.
I think they have similar powers too. Foresight.
Yeah. Excellent. So, how are things in the Weapon X program, X-Men? Do?
Not good. Not good. Ryan Reynolds
lost a lot of funding. The funding's way down for the Weapon X
up,
these days.
It'll come back. We're selling out a lot for that. Everyone's trying to do their own version of across the multiverse. We're going to have a lot of cameos, a lot of different Wolverines from a lot of different eras, just like there have been a lot of Batmen.
There's only one
Spider
Wolverine
people
from film, so I don't know if it's going to be Hugh Jackman in various ages.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, all of the Hugh Jackmans, we should say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jackmania
for mind-controlled super soldiers isn't what it used to be either.
Well,
You know.
I can't wait for that Kevin Durant return as the Blob. I think that'll be a solid
Yeah.
cameo to appear in the CameoFest.
Yeah, maybe you're in Cameo
You know,
Fest
if they're
1990.
doing like a Deadpool falling through the multiverse kind of thing with that third Deadpool movie, that would be fun if they
Yeah.
actually did bring some of those people back.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna for sure. Oh yeah.
I'm on board for that.
Well, keep taking us through the episode there.
Okay, well, so old Apocalypse obviously lied to gain access to yet another telepath, leaving Deathbird to be recaptured by the Praetorian Guard and her to go.
You never have too many telepaths.
Nope, but as David pointed out before when he was on the show, time travel works. He could have just taken 8 Charles Xaviers or 10 Charles Xaviers from different points in time. Just take one from now, take one from 10 minutes before that, 10 minutes before that.
True.
But
Big trouble. You don't want too many Charles Xaviers.
They'd be able to get on the same board so much more quickly than a bunch of other disparate people from other universes is the thing. A bunch of Charles Xaviers may be the way to go. Why not? There's a bunch of Reed Richards, fiddling about.
Council of Charles.
That's true. That would be interesting.
The Council of Charles would be so much trouble. Are you kidding me? That'd be a great story, actually.
They're probably just like reduced to some sort of onslaught madness, and there can only be one kind of thing.
I'm definitely
turn on each other. They would turn on each other.
Some giant phantasmal form Megazord Super Xavier just gallivanting through
I would love to see that. It's like a giant robot in a wheelchair. It just
investigating all the different call it the what's that guy? The psychic bad guy.
From what, this?
Shadow King?
Yeah. Subjugating all the Shadow King from all the universes. I'd like to see that.
It'd be 500 Xaviers and one Zorn, who turns out to be Magneto.
I love Zorn. Don't tease me with a good Zorn story. So we see Xavier talking to Cyclops, who's wondering why they took Jean and left him. While that's happening, he gets a psychic message from Lilandra showing what happened to her guardsman that was taken away there, guards person. So he knows Cyclops or Apocalypse is up to no good. We eventually cut to the Axis of Time, where we see
ex-goon Ryan Carnahan here makes a good point, though. It's just like the Apocalypse in this scene is from the future. What happened to the present day Apocalypse? Yeah.
Although the captured Fabian Cortez thing didn't happen in the show yet. I'm guessing that's because he's
Yes, it did.
When?
What? Yeah. Remember when he captured Fabian Cortez and Deathbird was just standing there, and it's the first time we saw Deathbird?
That wasn't Apocalypse.
Who was it then?
It was.
It was Apocalypse because it was because she becomes one of his horsemen. X-Dan knows Deathbird's a proper horseman.
Yeah, Deathbird's a proper horseman.
But that didn't happen in this show yet.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
No, she was not one of them.
On one of those Fabian Cortez episodes.
There were Fabian Cortez episodes, except for the ones in the future with Bishop and the X Factor episode.
Sanctuary Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the end of Sanctuary Part 2.
Was that this season?
Yeah, it was this season. That's the one where they go up on Asteroid M and, Fabian turns on Magneto and stuff. Yeah, at the end of it.
I'm getting Fabian Cortez mixed up with Forge. Sorry. Yes, that makes
Okay.
I don't remember Apocalypse being there, but I guess.
Oh yeah, he just shows up.
Right, you're right. You're correct.
And you're like, what are those two doing here?
Yes, you're 100% correct.
That was the start of CameoFest 19.
Well, actually, that could still be this Apocalypse. That could have started when he agreed to help her.
It could be time traveling around, maybe.
Was Cortez a psychic too? He wasn't though. He only took powers.
No, he enhanced other people's powers.
Yeah, his amplification would be beneficial to anybody.
Well, that would make sense if they were using it for the psychics for whatever his plan is here.
Yeah. Just like to blow up everybody's brains. It's like I need all the psychics.
Still could kind of work in this context, but
that's a pretty classic move, actually. I mean,
blowing up everybody's brains.
Well, taking all the psychics out first in some capacity, right?
I guess so.
Earth X Dan, remember?
Yeah,
that's step one of the Earth X history.
Yeah, X Dan loves his Earth X.
Loves my Earth X.
Yeah.
Does not treat Wolverine well. Will not lie. Not great. You have to wait until like Universe or Paradise X for him to get some sort of redemption arc.
Just act together. Act together, Earth X Wolverine.
So we see Sinister monologuing a bit to Jean Grey in the Acts of Time, revealing that his whole master plan is to create this race, like the genetic experiment using Jean and Scott's DNA, in which she says you'll have to wait generations for that to work. And he says, not with the help of time travel, basically. And then we see Oracle get dropped into a cage beside Jean.
From here, I can exist in all times. Even as I begin an experiment, I can leap through a portal and see its result.
It takes the fun out of it, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. But, obviously it would be a very useful tool for a scientist.
True
When I first attempted time travel, fate, in its infinite wisdom, threw me off course into this, the temporal control center of existence.
Yep.
Well, he explains more if you keep it going.
In due time.
Perfect time.
So basically, he discovered this place and has been molding it to be the perfect place. She wants more answers as to why they're needed. He says in due time, with that crazy laugh. We see Bishop, who's still wandering around trying to find his way out of the Acts of Time by himself. Still kind of walking in circles. Then we cut back to Xavier talking to the X-Men when they're trying to figure out what to do. And that...
Did you say Bishop?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, man, my mic never picks up my harmonica.
How does it not pick up your harmonica?
My mic sucks. It cuts
Too
out
much.
everything. Somehow it knows what isn't a voice. It cuts out everything. If I played a guitar right now, it would cut all that out. It just cuts
Really?
out everything. Yeah. It's either that or StreamYard or the virtual soundboard. But one of those things cuts out a lot of things. I think it's my mic. But I'm going to get a better one here soon.
Well, the CameoFest continues because then we see Xavier.
This is an audio podcast. I was playing harmonica for all the people that
Well, you can put it in. You can put it in post. You can put it in like some fucking harmonica. Just,
maybe I will.
Just like get like the world's best harmonicist and just take a little piece of something he or she is playing, and then just like put it in that spot. You get it. Nobody none the wiser. So we see the X-Men who Xavier surmises that they're playing with time, and Shard is there to agree, and basically they need to try to figure out what's going on. For all of existence is at stake, essentially. So we then cut to Castle Worthington, in which we see a ninja climbing up the side of the cliff.
You skipped over this.
Sound like Sinister and Apocalypse working the same side of the street.
That's pretty good. I like that.
That's a great one.
Same side of the street. He always sounds like he's so
You
tired.
are not suggesting using them as bait.
We have to.
We have to. Cyclops is so crazy.
He's got to get his lady back. He's pretty upset.
It's true. It's true.
So,
yes.
I kind of may have glossed over in that meeting. Did they discover that he's looking for psychics?
Warning them could reveal our plan.
Yes.
If they be psychic, they already know, right?
That is not funny, Gambit.
So when Xavier gets the information, he finds out that Oracle was taken, and knowing she's a psychic as well, I believe they put together that he's going after psychics. So they decide to look up more powerful psychics and use them as bait, essentially, to find Apocalypse, whoever is taking the psychics, and lead them back to Jean. So I'm sure they're coming, Sam. So so then we go to Archangel's house, where he's being robbed essentially by a ninja who turns out to be Psylocke.
Angel.
They have a bit of a fight, and then Wolverine and Shard show up, who are kind of in pursuit of Psylocke. They've been sent by Cerebro, who detected that she's a fairly powerful psychic. Sabretooth and Mystique then arrive, also trying to capture Psylocke for Apocalypse, and they have a big, large fight.
A discus from the first Olympic Games. Should be worth a few pennies.
A ninja sports fan. I keep my baseball cards in my
I should have brought a shopping cart. Oh well.
Archangel's voice sounds very familiar. I believe we may have looked him up before, but I got to look him up at some point. Maybe we can use one of my X points later.
Oh, X points. I knew I was forgetting something. I'll make
you forgot X points.
I'll figure it out as we go.
Jesus. If you happen to see a beautiful black-haired mutant psychic, wake me up.
And her hair is obviously purple.
Yeah, I know. I was confused by that line.
They call her raven-haired and black-haired twice.
I save a falling ninja.
Just the last time I save a falling ninja.
That happens to him a lot. Basically, she goes to run herself off a cliff when she's seen earlier on when she's seemingly cornered by Worthington, and he goes to save her, which she uses to gas him and then get into his house. But anyway, the big fight ensues.
When something blows up, come running.
Not bad for a hairy old man.
So she
Sharon's got a few zingers in this one. That's right, Dan, hairy old man.
So during the initial fight, Lebowski's making his cameo. Hey, Lebowski.
Oh, Lebowski's cameo here on CameoFest 1996.
So so she when he went to save her, she gassed him, stole what she needed. He woke up, saw her leaving, and then chased after her, followed her all the way back to some other city. And that's when Wolverine and Shard got involved. And they got in a big fight. And it's broken up by Magneto, who apparently is part of this party. And essentially is also trying to kidnap Psylocke for Apocalypse. Just kind of a big reveal here. But he uses a pretty cool, impressive attack with a ship. Basically, magnetizing Wolverine to the side of a giant, ship called the U.S. Tin Man. And then drops it through a building with Wolverine still stuck to it. They do find him and get him out later and capture Sabretooth, who was hurt in the battle. But then we see Magneto and
Wolverine. Guess again.
Wolverine. Yes, again. Sabretooth's voice is so hilarious. I love it.
It's for my brother, who fights for the good of mutants, all mutants.
A thief with a cause is still a thief.
True, a thief with a cause is still a thief. But how about that, X-Dan? How about that reference? Her brother fighting for all mutants?
I mean, I don't know if we want to get political now, bringing the old country back into it and all this.
We can talk about the old country. About the old country. We're drinking Irish whiskey here, Dan.
I should be. I'm sorry. We're out.
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is an interesting reference. I assumed her brother Brian, my boy.
Brother Brian.
My boy, the brother Brian. Got a lot of sentiments about him. He's made cameos. Yeah, he's made cameos. Speaking of CameoFest, right?
Yeah. He's cameoed on
briefly appeared.
Has all her family so far? Do we get Monarch and everybody?
I haven't seen Monarch yet.
We haven't seen Jaemeel.
No. Jaemeel doesn't come.
What would they do with him? What would they do with him? Have him come up and naked and tear up the world?
If they can do Proteus, they can do Jaemeel. Right?
Jaemie'd be funny to do in '97, actually.
Yeah.
This crazy naked guy running around manipulating the world.
Yeah.
That's all. Crazy naked guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the crazy naked guy brother who has reality warping powers. He can do anything.
Isn't that just
and it's cool how he does it. The way his powers are cool. So he sees the universe and everything that makes it up as these strings, and he can just pull at them and tie different ones together and do all the it looks really cool.
A lot more mystical affiliations and Arthurian tie-ins and stuff like that. Or he dwells in that in between mystical realm and all. And also, there's no Quanon, or is that her name? How do you pronounce it? Other Psylocke?
Quanon.
Yeah. Maybe that's where Wolverine's reference to the black hair is, because he's about the only one who might go back that far.
She also has purple hair, but whatever.
Well, really? Both of them? Well, then.
Yeah. What can you do?
Maybe he's colorblind like a bunch of other animals. No, he's pretty sure he can see red hair. That's
yeah. He can see red hair. Yeah, he can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Or else it's just a crazy coincidence.
Or else it's just that's just a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, all right, so that's basically the end of the episode. They got away with Psylocke after Magneto made his
a lot of
presence.
fighting. Yeah,
and then
fight scenes.
They're back on the axis of time where Magneto is seen to be working with Apocalypse in exchange for Apocalypse promising to bring his wife back to life. So that's why Magneto.
Oh, this is what I should have played when Dan showed up in the costume.
What is this? A science fiction convention?
Yeah, and end of episode.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, actually, there is a little stinger in which we see Cable
in there.
And we're gonna borrow it.
That's funny. It's always like, and we're gonna take it, or we're gonna steal it, or we're gonna destroy it. We're gonna borrow it.
For context,
and bring it back rewound.
Cable and his son Tyler are going to break into apparently at some point in the future, same as with nuclear, they had nuclear disarmament. All the countries got rid of their nuclear weapons, but most of them kept one. So using that as an allegory, Cable says that they did the same when they had the time machine that took them away, but the government still has one, so they're going to go steal it from the American government, or the 3,999 version of the American government, whatever it looks like then. Yeah.
Clinton.
I love how I never asked Lawrence. Did we talk to Lawrence when he was on about like if John Wayne was inspiring to his version of the Cable voice? Because it does sound very John Wayne.
Sounds like an Andre question. So
it does sound very John Wayne-ish.
I mean, it's very Wild Man of Borneo.
Yeah. Anyway, end of episode.
We'll have to have Uncle Lawrence on again. Ask him something.
Yeah, Uncle Lawrence was a great guest.
He certainly was. Go back and check out that interview from 2 weeks ago if you haven't seen it yet, everybody.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
All right, let's decide. Let's have X-Dan go first. X-Dan.
Yeah.
Cameo yourself a rating on this episode. Did you watch this episode?
I have. I didn't I kind of had to rush watch the hot points for this week. I apologize for not having kept up. I should also point out before going any further what an honor it is to have only not to fill this seat after so many prestigious guests and be only the first cameo and maybe the only to take the call.
We can give you the big screen.
Not so much that. I just mean
mean
the kind of hats off to you guys for the guest list you've had so far. It's been a ride. Well done.
It has been a ride. It's been a ride. There's a couple more irons in the fire.
I don't know. I feel hesitant to give the episode too much. Warren Worthington gets rolled. Wolverine gets smashed through a couple buildings. I do want to work in threes because it comes easier for the whole claw motif and all. But
should it be six?
No, I'll probably stick with it's an 8 if for no other reason than the end credit scenes. End credit scenes mean more in this day and age, and probably they have, God, ever. And that one throwing down a little Cable, a little splash of Cable in the Bishop mix. I mean, you can't ask for much more in a time travel episode than Cable splashed in at the end of a Bishop and Apocalypse storyline. Good stuff. The only thing missing is Days of the Future Past Wolverine, really.
What do you want him for?
I mean, he, Earth X later on, shenanigans. He's done a lot of time traveling. He got plucked out of the moment before he gets vaporized by a Sentinel in the storyline that have been thrown onto a super team of time travelers to solve a bunch of problems, with Maestro and a couple other guys, accepting his fate that he'd go back to be incinerated once his job was done. Good times would have been, it's impractical, obviously. 8 is my rating though. Like it.
8's a good rating.
8 for not being Earth X. That's the short answer.
Yeah.
What would I give this episode? A lot happens. It's not a very cohesive story as on its own as part of this 4-parter. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I think 8's probably. I'm gonna give this one a 7. Wasn't super blown away with this one.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. I'll give it an 8.
It's a fine part. It's a fine part of this 4-part, but I think I liked the last part better. I have a feeling the next 2 parts could be strong. So it is funny. It's funny how just Magneto shows up and he's like, so he practically says, "'Tis I, Magneto." Like it's just like basically announcing a cameo. It's so funny. Like perhaps I can help. Yeah, that's what it was.
This really does
like,
feel like
Magneto.
This really does feel like they thought this would be the last episodes of the show. They literally are just bringing everybody out to play. All the tools are almost all the toys are out of the box. So
yeah, you could tell.
And if it was supposed to be, it would have been a hell of a way to go out. So
oh yeah, it would have been. I mean, I guess it's better to have one more season, even if like it's different animation and perhaps not as strong storytelling. But
yeah,
I mean,
I like
would
it.
have been
Solid
an
8 for
way to
me.
go. All right, I guess I'm just being a bit of a stickler on this one.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe since I didn't prepare X points, I can like delegate some of mine to X Dan. Uncanny X points. Andre's going first because he actually has some. I assume.
What? All right. First point. Psylocke's car has an interesting license plate. Anybody notice what the number on license plate was?
Wasn't it Ninja?
No, it was THX 1138, which is something that George Lucas slides into a lot of his movies because it was the name of his first movie, the one with Robert Duvall.
Oh, THX. Yeah.
It's 1138. He slides that into his Star Wars movies a lot as a little nod to that film. It's an interesting movie. I wouldn't call it great, but it's certainly interesting. Well worth checking out if you like that sort of slow, methodical sci-fi with interesting sort of commentary on modern society, kind of drenched within it.
Right. Well, okay. Well, Dan kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'll make my X point just to mention Quanon. Because until she like says who she is, and like she didn't really, like for all we know, they could. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, this is really an X point. So this is clearly Betsy Braddock because she mentioned her brother. So I think Quanon maybe has a brother. Quanon had a daughter. Yeah, Quanon had a daughter that she lost. It's all very tragic. But so Psylocke's going to be like a main character in this new revival series, X-Men 97. And to me, it's just weird for them to make that Betsy Braddock just with the way things are these days. Like this white character trapped in an Asian body. It's just kind of, I just don't know if they'll go that route with it. They might just make it Quanon. They might make her Quanon rather than Betsy. They might forget she said that brother line or just gloss over it and just make her Quanon.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Quanon being like the person whose body they stole to put Betsy in there in the first place. And anyway, eventually they were split into two. Betsy got her body back, her British purple-haired body back, and Quanon got her body back. Because for a while, Quanon was running around in Betsy's body, and she was called Revanche. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was a good X point. You got a surprise X point for us, X Dan?
Well, maybe I could just ride the wave, keep on that train. There is the fact that I was trying to think about an X point having been related to however many horsemen. Like, could they even have conjured up 4 horsemen from available horsemen of people who have taken the role? Wolverine being one, like Warren being an obvious other, and then like as we've discussed, Deathbird or Warbird. I'm sorry, I always get them mixed up.
Deathbird,
right?
Banch.
Yeah. Is Banch is Banch in here? And Banch is such a far-flung
in this episode, but he's in this show.
Oh yeah, well, there's plenty in the show, but I was just trying to think of this episode. But instead, I think I'll jump on the Warren.
Sinister, kind of.
Wasn't Gambit one too at one point?
Gambit was like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Gambit was
he a
corrupted
horseman,
by
or was he like possessed by Apocalypse or something?
Yeah. Either way, I'd rather latch on to the point that it is interesting to see Psylocke and Warren in an episode, never having made a connection. As close as they end up becoming. And like even more notable to see him
Very
in the
much
blue and the white, where he's like only kind of imbued with the power to have that amount of control over like the Apocalypse seed within himself, partially because of the support he gets from her later on. But
yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, love connection.
Yep.
I guess.
I might branch off on that a little bit later. That's a good point. Back to you, Andre.
Back to Andre. Magneto is not played in this episode by his normal actor. You will notice
Didn't
his
think
voice.
so.
His voice
He
sounds
only had like
strange.
2 little lines.
It's not
but
David
yeah.
Hemlin. It's somebody else.
David Hemlin's just so recognizable. Like
he is. His
to
voice
replace
is
him with
great.
the fact that he's going to be such a main character in this new series and it's not going to be him. Like, is it going to be this guy? This other guy who had 2 lines in this episode?
Hemlin's still around, isn't it? Hemlin?
No, Hemlin died.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I liked his work on Earth Final Conflict.
Yeah, he was a good actor, man.
Actually, most people don't realize this, but do you remember the TV? Okay, this is the next point. But do you remember the TV show Captain Power and the Soldiers of Tomorrow?
Oh, do I ever? It used to give me weird nightmares as a kid.
He was the bad guy. He was Lord Dreg.
Oh, was he? Oh, he
Lord
was.
Dreg.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I used to have the Captain Power action figures. I had an action figure of Lord Dreg.
Yep. That was him.
Wow.
In fact, I watched a movie with him in it yesterday.
Which, with Hemlin in it?
Yeah.
Was it Tommy Boy?
No. No, it's actually The Sweet Hereafter, the Adam McGowan movie.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
all right,
no, that was really my point.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was my point.
Oh,
that
okay.
was my point. Different voice actor. That was my point. Go back.
Okay. Yeah.
I got another one.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well, what do I got here? Well, it's funny how the things they're throwing into this episode for cameos and things. The one that seems to stick out the most is the Shi'ar. Like, this episode didn't necessarily need a space battle, and not that it was, unwelcome or anything, but it just seemed to stand out a little bit. It's a space battle. They go after Oracle, which seems strange. Like, there's a lot of telepaths on Earth. You don't really need to go to space to go find another telepath. But, maybe it's particularly powerful telepaths. I don't know. But it's funny. This gathering of the telepaths is pretty
I did forget to mention when we were talking about the episode that while at the very end when Apocalypse is or we're explaining Magneto, that he's going to bring back Magneto's wife, Sinister arrives with another mutant that he captured, which I believe was not Mastermind. What was his name? He kind of looks like Lobot from Star Wars. Mesmero. Mesmero, I think.
Oh, Mesmero was there? I didn't catch that.
Maybe it wasn't him.
Mesmero's awesome.
There's somebody that we see. Oh no, it's the Games Master. That's who he rides with.
The Games Master.
Jeremy Stevens.
Games Master.
I don't know. He's only in the show a couple times and cameo roles in the background and stuff. But he's one of the ones that he's the one the X-Men were watching when they left to go help the other X-Men during their fight and left him behind, and then he got captured. So he's just fodder. He's nobody really established in the series. You just saw him in the background. Like
Mesmero would have been very cool. I definitely.
Well, I believe he is. I believe he is in it later, but he's not. Or
what? Oh, that's cool. He has some interesting stuff. Well, here's the next point then if we're talking about Mesmero. So there's a Weapon X run by Frank Thierry. Not my favorite writer usually, but this Weapon X run was okay. It's got Sabretooth on the team. They're sort of mind controlling him. And Mesmero's on the team and Aurora. But it really gets into the Mesmero character more than him be showing up as a villain normally would. So if you ever want to read about Mesmero, read the Weapon X run by Frank Thierry. Frank Thierry, Mesmero. Man, Mesmero, that's old school. He was in like the first 10 issues of X-Men. Anyway, this isn't a Mesmero episode, but I hope he shows up actually in the new series. Mesmero is pretty cool. You got anything else for us, X-Dan? My X point there just sucks, so it's not like I'm setting a big bar.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like how the majority of your last point was actually about a non-cameo appearance. So yeah, I'll jump on that train.
You know what? Rewind. No, you know what? I'm coming
it's a
back.
Stream of consciousness.
I'm bringing it back. I'm gonna branch off of your last X point.
Well, I was going to branch off of your X point. Now, how am I going to get my X point?
All right, you go. I'll save this one for my next one. You go.
I got points coming at all the different points. I got all the points. No, but I mean, like, I just like to
2
point
points
out,
on top of your head right now.
Points on points. 2 points here. Some on my boots. If you had to guess, Davan, what super telepath I would be into having in the series that wasn't there, top of mind.
Nate Gray.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't call myself X-Man fan, did I? So where's the most powerful?
X-Man?
Where's the most powerful mind of them all? Nate
the
Gray.
worst character ever that they had to write him out of comics.
There's no possible way he would have been making a cameo, but Legion and or Proteus not being there is significant, and I would kind of like point out for
Legion's
the great
not worth the trouble.
And I did kind of blow one of my good points on the rating, so I'll circle back to that and point out that Cable is then therefore the other big mind. Renji's trying to make some points out there. My cat, I apologize.
Cable,
I don't know if you hear that.
That's a good point, X-Dan. Rather than Cable being after Apocalypse, Apocalypse should be after Cable in this episode if he's looking for telepaths. So
that's the circle.
Very good
bloodline so much later that it's not insignificant. And furthermore, the son,
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler plays a big role with Apocalypse later on down the road in certain comic book iterations as well, as like a little pseudo sidekick getting back at his father for time-related abandonment issues. So
man, I hope that happens though. I can't remember how these next 2 episodes go. So it's like, I hope Cable just shows up to kill Apocalypse, and Apocalypse is just like, ha, my plan is complete.
Could be.
My final telepath is here. That'd be great. So Apocalypse in this series. So what X point are we on now? Is this your third one, Andre?
This would be my fourth one. I think we're already past 10.
No, if we did 3, 3, and 3, you went first. So this is number 10 now.
I did Psylocke's car. I did the Magneto's voice. Is that it? I thought I had a third one.
Yeah, you have to do 4.
What? Jesus.
Yeah, because 3 is 9. This is
all right. Fine, I got one.
10
so
points. Yeah.
After spotting Archangel, Shard says that he will one day join the X-Men. But based on this show, we've seen a ton of clips of him pre-transformation already being a part of the X-Men. So I'm guessing that's supposed to be a separate guy with angel wings. Your cat matches your colors.
Yeah, it has to be mimic. But who is he mimicking? No, see, it makes no sense. Hey, Rangers, that's Renji.
Renji, what a good name. He looks a lot like a more adult version of my kitten.
He's a good kitty, just a little sketchy at times.
Ripley comes to show her off, but she does look like a.
She's not in the best shape, but she's a good
kitty.
Good kitty.
My kitties are all outside enjoying the nice weather.
My cats don't go outside.
Hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. This is our comic reminiscences and recommendations segment. Now, I get a couple here. First, one just because it's what X-Man and Dan just made me think of, because he mentioned how we get a little bit of Warren and Betsy, or Psylocke, whoever it may be. Having some scenes together, and their relationship takes many turns, but of course, Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force run, it really explores their relationship. She's trying to help him through his trauma and apocalypse induced rage issues and all of this kind of with her telepathy and that kind of stuff, and they develop a relationship. He's still the millionaire playboy, that type of thing. So yeah, if you ever want to read about their relationship, check out Uncanny X-Force and the Dark Angel saga. big, of course. Big angel story. Sure. But what I was really going to do, and I've been avoiding this because in case we ever get to a Spider-Man show and do Spider-Man recommendations, but I am going to recommend some Spider-Man because I saw Across the Spider-Verse over the break here, and with X-Man Dan, actually, we saw it together, didn't we, X-Man Dan? Yes, indeed. Yeah, I don't buy movie tickets anymore. I just go with X-Man Dan and Lindsay, ex-woman Lindsay. But Spider-Verse, check it out. We're going across the Spider-Verse. Check out the Spider-Verse story. It's nuts. It's very funny. We get Spider-2. We get Superior Spider-Man. Like, it doesn't get much better than Superior Spider-Man. There's Peter and Superior going at it there. We get Miles. We get the Spider-Man from that cartoon. What's the cartoon? Oh, is it? It's one of the more recent ones where it's quite cartoony and like he'll do speech bubbles and
Ultimate
sing
Spider-Man.
even.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man. That Spider-Man is even in the comic, and it's funny. Like the other people see
And
his speech
Riley.
bubbles pop up, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" And he's just like, "Oh yeah, that doesn't happen to you." like it's pretty funny. And then of course there's the real villains of Spider-Verse in the comics, which they won't probably come into it in the movies, but that's Morlun and the other inheritors. Just, spider vampires. It's like all their spider totems on the wall. All the heads.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that storyline a lot. I'm sad that it's not really part of that thing, but I do really like what they're doing with the Spider-Verse movies. I love that movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Check out our review of it over on the Mary Mater Marvel Society. That's mine. Check out Spider-Verse. And it's got a bunch of spin-offs. I got those too. There's a Jessica Drew spin-off. There's like a bunch of there's a Superior Spider-Man spin-off. They all have their little corner of that story.
Nice.
Yep. To you, Andre.
To me, well, recently
to you, my board.
Recently, on my other podcast, I had Adam Gorham. I did have Adam Gorham on the show, but before that, I had Jim Rugg on the show, who has
Adam Gorham's coming on this show.
Yes, he is. But Jim Rugg, who did this book, which I picked up in honor after a conversation because it was coming out. And I wanted to read it, which is his Hulk Grand Design book, which is
I just poured way too much whiskey into that glass.
That just means you have to drink it.
I know.
So, and when she goes through the entire history of the Hulk and all the different art styles from his inception all the way up until basically, where does it end at? Pretty recent. It ends up right around. Jesus, I had this here. Oh, the Maestro getting blown up by the bomb again. They go all the way around to that. But mostly they talk about Red She-Hulk, World War Hulk, all that sort of stuff. It's kind of where it ends. But it catches you up on the entire Hulk history in such a fun, interesting way.
That's awesome.
Various versions of art.
Complicated history it is.
But like they use art that's like an homage to Kirby stuff. They do an homage to Buscema stuff. He matches kind of the art styles of a lot of the 90s with the Smart Hulk, all that sort of stuff. Even like when drawing the Maestro, kind of doing the Peter David stuff. It's very good. Very, very good. And a very cool book. I know his podcast partner, Ed Pisker, did the X-Men Grand Design book, which is a similar story, a similar format, but this one is this big. That one is like an omnibus. It's huge. The Grand Design. I believe they're working on a Fantastic Four one. I can't remember who's doing it, but
wow, that one's going to be thick too.
Yeah, but the X-Men one it looks really cool too. And based on this book, I think I definitely want to pick it up. It's super cool. Rugg is such an interesting. He's graphic designer origins, which obviously make him and I similar in that way. And he really utilizes all types of craft and art style and stuff to explore it. It's really fun and really, really good.
Interesting. What's your favorite Hulk run?
My favorite Hulk run?
Yeah.
I like the Mr. Fix-It stuff. I thought that was pretty fun.
I was going to say, I saw Mr. Fix-It flash when you were flipping through that. And then, brought back.
Man, Mr. Fix-It might be my favorite version of the Hulk, other than just like all outrage.
There's kind of parts of me that I really want to read that whole. I read the first 3 or 2 volumes of that horror kind of bend they did recently with it. What was it called?
Oh, the Jenkins one, or no?
No.
You mean the newer one with the Devil Hawk?
Al Ewing did it. Yeah.
Yeah, Devil Hawk. Yeah.
That one. I want to read that.
That gets crazy where he goes to like they create the antithesis of the one above all, the one below all,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Hulk fights the one below all, and
That sounds awesome.
it gets
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
down for all
And they
that.
have they create this whole lore around anybody who's affected by gamma radiation and how they're all like
the Green Door and all that. Yeah, I read far enough to get into that. But actually,
pretty
just
crazy stuff.
Flipping through this, there's all these interesting, weird ass parts of like Marvel history, like the female MODOK there, the hair.
Oh, Modam.
Yeah,
Modam. Yeah.
No, this was
I got a Modam right here.
No, this was Ms. MODOK. This is like way before that. But
where's my Modam?
Okay, it's not Modam. But there's
my Modam.
Does it have Earth X Hulk though?
No, unfortunately not.
Because why would it?
But this Mr. Fix-It picture is fucking awesome.
It is, yeah.
But
one of my favorite covers ever is Wolverine #8, I believe it is.
Actually, this version of Hulk I remember liking a lot when I was a kid. The 90s smart Hulk.
That's the most 90s Hulk. Yeah,
I know. I had such a kick out of that 90s Hulk when he was smart.
Peter David's Hulk.
He was just doing I'm a fan of like just big fun superhero books where they just sort of lean into what they are and you like John Byrne's Superman or John Byrne's Fantastic Four or She-Hulk or like a lot of John Byrne stuff like sits into that. Peter David's Hulk run, like all that stuff's just fun, like good fun superhero stuff. So yeah,
Dan Slott's She-Hulk run is like that. It gets pretty crazy and silly superhero stuff. A lot of Dan Slott stuff in general. Dan Slott's coming back to Spider-Man. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes, I love his work.
I think he's the best Spider-Man writer of all time, personally. And I met him and I told him that. And I think he plays at least a very unhumble character. He's just like, oh, I know, of course. Pretty much. He's like, I know I'm the best Spider-Man writer. Like, whatever.
All right.
It's pretty funny. Dan, what do you got? You got a comic book recommendation for us, X Dan? Is it gonna be Earth X?
I'm sorry, I didn't come prepared, so I'll just say Earth X.
Well, don't tell anybody anything.
Yeah, that's it.
And we love you for being the only person to make a cameo on CameoFest 1996.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll say it again. You guys have there's some big shoes to fill, and quite the honor. You guys have had some awesome guests.
Stop it.
I was on for the one episode, and I regret not having made more or paid more attention to some of the like prestige that came before me. So we'll put it that way.
Well, not too much came before you. You were on there pretty early.
Yeah, but didn't like Lorraine come on just like the episode before? I think I was.
You came on right after Lynette.
Like I was like, yeah, good. That's pretty big. And again, she tackled some much more interesting subjects than what were we on? Like
now you're the first seat after Uncle Larry, Uncle Lawrence.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Did you check that out? Did you check out the Lawrence Bain interview?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, awesome.
Oh, like he just like riffs off the top of his head was crazy. Like what a guest.
Yeah, but yeah, no, sorry I didn't come more prepared. But
don't worry.
There's going to be a cascade of cameos to.
I've been trying to get X-Dan back on the show for a while now, and he kept being like, I got to catch up on your episodes.
The safety. The world needs safe.
Well, look, he keeps the world safe. Safety Dan here keeps us all safe.
That's the idea.
If Dan drives by a site and there's unsafety stuff, he pulls it over and he shuts it down.
Shut her down, boy.
He shuts that down.
Shut her down. Speaking of which, I got to shut her down too because I may have overcommitted a little bit.
All right.
X-Man.
Thanks for making a cameo.
Yeah, I'm going to sign off in cameo fashion and with great thanks to you two fine gentlemen.
Oh, thanks for being on the show,
next time.
Yeah.
All right. There goes X-Man Dan. We love X-Man Dan.
He's a good guy. Good people at X-Man Dan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My favorite Hulk run, geez, I don't know. World War Hulk's pretty crazy. Oh, MZ loves this episode. It's a 9 out of 10. Lowest of the 4. Oh, well, yeah, I agree. It's probably the worst of these 4 episodes. But do we
Still, a
have
9
any
out of 10
thoughts
is pretty
on
solid.
Gladiator and Apocalypse?
Oh, that
I mean,
fight
I
would've been
think
sweet.
I
Didn't
I
happen.
think Apocalypse would make pretty quick work of Gladiator. Actually, Gladiator is very powerful, but it's all confidence based. So as soon as you rattle him, he just becomes easier and easier to beat. Whereas Apocalypse is kind of the opposite. He's just kind of playful with everybody until you become a serious threat to him, and then he stomps you. So it's just not a good fight for Gladiator, I don't think. Though he's quicker than Apocalypse. He'd get a few shots in, but I just don't think it would do enough. MZ said also awesome Lawrence Bain interview. Thanks, MZ.
Thank you, sir.
It was fun having Lawrence on the show. And look forward to, or stay tuned for more interviews from the X-Men TAS family. So what do we got next? What do we normally do? Oh, I know what we normally do. It's been so long, I don't even know how we do the show anymore, Andre. You made me take so many weeks off.
It was 2, and you were the reason we didn't do the first one.
Oh, was it me?
You were sick.
Was that the day? Was I ever? Oh yeah, I couldn't even keep
last
water
weekend.
down.
My wife had family visiting from Ottawa, so I didn't want to.
Can't I just blame you for both weeks? Can't you just give me that?
I mean, I don't think if you need me to, sure, buddy.
That'll help me out a little.
Okay,
I
sure.
can't handle any more burden. Can't handle any more emotional burden
deserve to live
from this show. Oh no! You can live.
No, I'm killing.
I need you, buddy. I don't want to be drinking alone.
I'm gonna kill myself alive.
That's just embarrassing.
Damn it! What have I?
How dare you embarrass me on the air by killing yourself and making me drink alone? How dare you? How dare you, sir?
You know, we might make some headlines.
Change the channel.
It's my remote with Andre. I know you're ready for this one. Now, speaking of my remotes, how far are you through the most recent Hold Up?
I finished it.
Oh, I played pretty nice considering that Murphy made me watch 4 anime movies in a row.
You weren't as big.
I was pretty diplomatic.
You didn't seem as big an asshole as you usually do in that show.
No, I was trying to tone it back because I realized anime is not for me, so I don't want to shit on it too bad for people who love it.
Yeah, you know, totally.
I just don't get it. Like I understand that to me it's very good art, but it's just not compelling film. Generally.
Well, there's like a whimsy to it. You kind of have to like open yourself to like being in a more like a fairy tale than a real conventional.
It's very much that.
Yeah. Although you guys picked, I guess like you picked 2 Ghiblis, which I probably wouldn't have done. I would have picked one, and probably would have been Princess Mononoke.
That was my pick
because
and I had to watch it twice because I was confused the first time.
Totoro
is a pretty good movie.
I mean, you should have done Akira for sure.
That's what Murphy said. Yeah.
But
I had seen most of Akira before.
You should have done that over Totoro for sure. Totoro's a fun movie. Like I watched it about a year ago, and I really liked it. But it definitely strikes me as a kids movie. Like I think I messaged you because you said in your podcast that you didn't think any modern kids would love it. My cousin's kid adores it. It's like her favorite movie.
Well, that's interesting because it's just
but you can't experience things the way a 4-year-old would, right? Like to them.
No, exactly. I probably would have loved it as a 4-year-old too, maybe. But it's just looking back now at the things.
And the other one I never heard of. So.
Oh, don't worry about it. But honestly, for the first half of it, I enjoyed more than those other 2 movies.
What I would have, if I was your pick, I would have done.
Stop caring.
Okay, this is what I would have done if I were you guys. To give you 3 starkly different options, I would have done Princess Mononoke for sure, Akira, and Perfect Blue.
Remember though, we're not trying to pick the 3 best movies.
I'm not either. I'm picking
suck. They might suck. You know,
I'm not picking the best either. I'm picking ones that are wildly different themes.
Okay.
So Akira's like a proto-futuristic thing. Princess Mononoke is kind of more like a woodsy, like
based on historical
kind of thing. And
it's more of a historical myth thing. It's about
kind of, but I mean, there's spirits and demons and all this stuff in it.
Yeah.
So And then I would have picked Perfect Blue because it's like a modern day like giallo slasher film as a
the
an
Red
anime.
Line, the third one we watched, is very futuristic.
It's
It's
like
very
yeah,
space.
but you kind of had that already with you would have had that already with Akira. So kind of, but those are the ones I would have picked. That or like I don't know, Aeon Flux or something. But
oh no, not Aeon Flux. That's not good.
Yeah, well, that's what I would have done if I were given the opportunity.
I've seen Aeon Flux, and I don't know what the shit is happening. And I saw the live action remake.
Well, actually,
too.
Perfect Blue, I would have given you the option for, or not Perfect Blue. Is it Perfect Blue? I think it's Perfect Blue. Or Paprika is the other one I would have suggested for you.
Oh, that's showing up. Murphy has that on some other theme. That
Oh.
movie's actually going to show up on our show. Yeah.
Okay, that's about going into dreams. So if you're doing a dream episode or something,
Dream Logic episode.
Do you guys settle on
your? Is it a mix of live action and animation by any chance?
No. In fact, from what I understand, what's his face? Christopher Nolan owns a great debt to that movie because I guess like it came out before the same as Existence, which we talked about before. But that one I think Nolan owns a lot too as well because both have elements of Inception in them that are like deeply very, very close, like very close. Paprika's like some kind of a guy as a weapon that can invade dreams and people have to go in after them. It's very Inception like.
Okay, maybe he must have had it and he bumped it. It seems to not be on here anymore.
All right, well, it's a good one.
He must have had it. He must have had it on the Anime Island and then bumped it for Redline. And he only picked Redline. Murphy likes a spite pick every now and then, where he just picks a movie that he thinks I'll especially hate. And he was but I surprise him. Sometimes I like the movies he picks.
Anyway. Yes, I do. I've listened to the show. I'm aware.
Yeah. Well, next one's on boats. And we can all thank Kevin Millard for making me sit through 3.5 hours of Das Boot.
Oh, you didn't watch the 6-hour cut?
What?
There's a 6-hour cut. You should have watched that one.
It's going to take me 6 sittings to get through this 3.5 hour cut. Not that it's bad, even. Like, it's okay so far. I'm like probably like 40 minutes in, but 40 minutes in is just like saying you're 10 minutes into most movies. Like, nothing has happened. I'm 40 minutes in, and literally nothing has happened. So they've gotten on the boat. They're on the boat.
A friend of mine has a board game called Das Boot, or no, U-Boot, in which you play a German submarine during World War II. Yeah. Well, the game's called U-Boot because you're a German sub. So yeah, it's fun. It's a board game, and like everybody has different jobs, and there's an AR kind of part of it that's an app that's on an iPad, so you can like look up and then use it to attack other ships and stuff. It's fun. It's a good board game. Boats. So what did you choose for boats? Yeah, Das Boot makes sense.
But I made a fun pick.
Titanic, obviously.
Pick. No,
I'm kidding. I wouldn't.
So Kevin picked Das Boot. I picked Captain Ron.
Delightful 90s comedy.
I loved that movie. I've seen it like
I don't think I've ever seen it actually.
Oh really? I loved it as a kid. I loved that movie. Kurt Russell, Martin Short, Canada's sweetheart.
I do love Martin Short.
Oh man, who doesn't? He's one of the funniest men ever.
Also, during your anime episode, you guys talked about Graveyard of the Fireflies. Neither of you have heard of it. That's a huge anime. That's like a
well, no, I only heard of it because yeah, Murphy. I was surprised Murphy hadn't heard of it. I've heard of it in my research after watching Princess Mononoke once and not quite getting it. So then I did some research on some Japanese myth and stuff, and on Ghibli and stuff. Yeah,
well,
interesting how it was a double feature that you could play on any order you wanted.
I'm going to read you the description for Perfect Blue just to show you how different of a theme this one is compared to the others. Okay. A pop singer gives up her career to become an actress, but she slowly goes insane when she starts being stalked by an obsessed fan that seems to be a ghost of her past.
It's an anime movie? I feel like that's a Natalie Portman movie or something.
Well, you're describing the Black Swan, but they're very different movies. But it could have been inspired by this for sure, because I know Aronofsky draws from a lot of various... Actually, you know what? 100%, I think I remember him referencing this as an inspiration for that movie. So this one came out like
I've never even seen Black Swan, so that shows you how much I pick up from little bits.
There you go. So what are the other ones for Captain Ron?
Das Boot and In the Heart of the Sea.
Oh, the pre-Moby Dick.
Yeah, Moby Dick
movie.
one. Yeah.
Well, Herman Melville was inspired to write Moby Dick based on a story he read in a newspaper about an incident that happened to a real boat.
I'm interested in this one.
And I believe that story is supposed to be the original.
In the Heart of the Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested because I
actually
read Moby
have it
Dick
on Blu-ray. I found it in the bin
as a young lad.
So I wanted to watch it, but I never got around to watching it. So.
Well, watch it before the podcast, and
that's not a bad idea.
If you want, jump on for some spare change because Jaemeel hasn't been joining us for spare change the last couple episodes.
What was it? You wanted me to join you for the multiverse episode?
Yeah, the season finale.
What are your options? What two do you have picked already?
You don't like my options, and because it's hard to pick multiverse movies from pre-2000s, which you'll see now that you have to pick one of them. I picked Last Action Hero and Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. Event Horizon.
Yeah, I'd rather you're gonna replace that. I'm keeping Last Action Hero.
Well, I would have picked Last Action Hero. Damn it!
No, I'm picking Last.
Why does it have to be pre-90s?
Because it's the theme of our podcast. I'm trying to prove to Murphy that movies pre-2000s were much better than newer ones.
You know, spiting your friend isn't a great thing to build a podcast on.
No, it's not me spiting my friend. I didn't know who my co-host was going to be. I threw it out to the floor. Murphy's like, "I'll do it." I threw it out to you. You didn't want to.
Well, I'm busy. I can barely have time to do this one, as we established.
True enough.
All right. Well, I'll come up with when is this?
But you are probably the movie guy of the UFP, so we're gonna have you.
I honestly think you guys should just let me. I may not be able to do the episodes, but you should let me.
No, you're not picking all our movies.
You should let me
because you don't understand the.
I do understand the theme.
Conceit of the show.
I do understand the theme. You want
but you'll pick too many good movies because you always want to pick movies that are really good.
No, I would pick ones that are different. I would pick three very.
I picked Captain Ron. I don't know if Captain Ron's gonna hold up to me watching it now as a 40-year-old.
But how important? How important?
And that's why I picked it.
How important to that movie is the ship?
They're on it the entire movie. They get off maybe at a couple ports for a few minutes to get into hijinks, but they are on that boat the entire movie. Oh, look who it is! We have another cameo here on CameoFest, 1996.
I'm telling Davan.
Worldman Murphy.
I'm explaining
to Davan why you should let me
pick your guys' movies.
Somebody's ears were burning because we were talking about hold up. Shan says we should do a show live in Newfoundland, Andre.
Let's do it. So,
that's a good question, actually, from Sam. Do we think the writer's strike will affect? No, I don't think it will, because
they've been producing it.
This show is written pretty much, from what I understand, by one guy, and I'm pretty sure the first two episodes or 2 seasons at least are in the can already. So
yeah,
I think we're all right.
For release in January.
Though it did just get pushed back. Yes, no, it was January. Now it's early 2024.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
tricky.
Yeah. So maybe you're right, Sam. Maybe it did, but certainly not for season 1. That is in the can. I think if that delay just has to do with whatever the release schedule drama might be. Look at this. Holy fuck, it's the world mind, the man.
That's right. I'll explain to Davan why you guys need to change some of the format to your show.
Yeah, well, explain it to Murphy now that Murphy's here.
Okay.
He doesn't like our movie choices, mostly yours.
No.
All right,
Davan, let the man speak for himself.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you need to get rid of that only one movie has to be from now, and then all the rest have to be pre-90s.
No, that's not going anywhere. That's
that really well. So one of your options out of 3 is from 2000s up, and then the rest is all before the 90s.
Well, the entire
we're talking about 23 years has happened since the year 2000, whereas before the year 2000, there's basically 100 years of film to choose from. So to me, that's a pretty decent balance.
But when you get into a more niche concept like multiverse, you're really
then we're in trouble.
You're really hamstrung.
Well, didn't we break that concept one other time, Murphy? Didn't we do 2 modern films and 1 older film for one other?
Yeah,
film?
Yeah, you did. When you did the what was it? The German movie, not German. The one with the girl. Veronica. Was that
That's a We're Berlin guys. That was a great movie. Did you watch that yet, Andre?
Not
That's a
yet.
great
It's
movie.
It's a great film. Okay, the whole
Jaemeel,
purpose.
who was hard on that? Who was super hard on that?
David, give me 2 seconds. Okay, the whole purpose, the reason why I am film or I choose films post 2000 is because Davan is under the belief that there are no good movies after.
Yes, I agree, which is fine. I just think like he picks an old movie, you pick a new movie, and then let the third one be a wild card.
Oh, Jameel's piping up. Andre, did you like Out of Sight? Jameel's all about Out of Sight.
I haven't watched it, but I will.
Jaemeel, where are you? This is CameoFest 1996. I expect you here within 5 minutes.
I will say this. You're not entirely wrong, Andre. I believe
it was
that
Jaemeel out of Victoria. I thought so.
If a guest is on the show,
let them pick what they want.
They should have wild card. They should have whatever generation if they're,
they're
coming in.
I can get behind that. Get behind that
because they can pick whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I feel we've sort of cornered our guests by telling them they can only pick pre-generation or whatever. So from here on out,
like I already proved my point on this show that old movies are better because we had Dr. Strangelove and it's the best movie ever.
I feel like getting into arguments about what decades are better than other decades for movie is folly. Just watch good movies. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
like why draw this arbitrary line in the sand?
Okay, I don't want to feel like too much of a curmudgeon.
It wasn't more or less an arbitrary line. It was more like the beginning line of a blueprint of something that's evolved.
Yes,
it was something where like, all right, well, this is you know what we've come to realize that it's all shades of gray.
Yeah,
and we're more or less exploring the themes of the film.
And that's true. And I think if you
I enjoyed Redline way more than Murphy did.
I think if you did that, so the third one could be whatever, then that would open it up in a way that would probably fix that.
Only if we have a guest, because I'm always going to pick.
And if you don't have a guest, let me pick your third one, and I'll tell you what it is.
Well, think about it.
All right, because I feel like
I'm not against that idea.
Thank you. I feel like I watch a lot of movies.
He wants to pick all our movies, Murphy. Every time I come on X-rated,
I know. It's not good.
One of our hold-up episodes, he's like, "Look, I probably should have picked all those episodes for you guys." Like, what do you think? What do you think?
I love your guys' show. I listen to it and I enjoy it. So the only difference is I know you personally, so I can tell you this stuff. If I just listen to this podcast and I didn't know you guys, I would still enjoy it. I would just say, why didn't they do this one? But now I can complain to you in person because I know you guys.
I love that CameoFest 1996 is becoming Tangent Fest 1996
I know.
But I'm loving it.
I'm
loving it. So,
I told Davan that my picks for your animes would have been Princess Mononoke.
I picked it.
Akira. And
Murphy almost picked it.
And Perfect Blue. Because they're three wildly different movies.
You know that one, Murphy?
I've heard of Perfect Blue. I haven't seen it, but I've seen posters, and one of them I wanted to check out. But
it's supposed to be.
He's like, let's watch Redline. Let's watch Redline.
Dude, I'm still mad that I picked Redline because like there are better racing films and there are better animes, and so like I'm so
better
mad
everything than Redline.
I like that you referenced Rush, which was you referenced Ford versus Ferrari, which was a good movie.
One of the best racing films I've ever
Perfect
watched.
Blue is ace.
Rush was a really good one too with Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl.
Yes, it was. Oh man.
What
about Star Wars Episode 1? That's a racing film.
Sure. And starships are kind of ships of space, so you might as well just have them for ships and put them in your next episode.
My favorite racing movie is an episode of Star Trek Voyager where they do a space race.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It was fun.
Anyway, I like to be in the guys' show. I find it hard to find a multiversal episode because you guys already have.
Right, you can pick post 2000s. We're going with your new format idea.
Even then, there's still not a lot.
But I'm sticking with Last Action here.
I mean,
you were mocking me at first. He's like, "There's tons of multiverse movies pre 2000s." But
no, I didn't say that.
There really is
not pre 2000s. There's like the post 2000s.
People weren't talking about that kind of thing.
But not in the way that we do.
Listen, if you come in with a pick better than Event Horizon, I'm all for it because, in my opinion,
Event Horizon is
not a parallel universe story.
It's out. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
They open up a gate to hell.
Yeah, but hell's not a parallel universe. It's just another dimension.
It could be.
Yeah, it's a dimension.
No, this is parallel dimensions. This isn't a multiverse movie. It's the movie. The title is, I believe, it's called Parallel
Alternate Dimensions. It's alternate dimensions.
Alternate dimensions.
Oh, it's okay. Well, Coraline would be a good choice for that one then.
Coraline?
Yeah, she goes.
Oh,
through
the
hole
one with
to another
the
world.
puppet eyes and shit.
Yeah, with the buttons for eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty fucking great movie.
The Neil Gaiman movie.
Murphy, Andre liked your paprika pick, but I see you've removed that. You had that on there.
That's what I would have suggested.
I didn't
remove
Didn't you have paprika on there somewhere?
I still have paprika on there. You just moved it way down the bottom of the list. It's technically under, I believe, animations or cartoon. Yeah, I had paprika on that list somewhere. It was there.
No, it's not there anymore. It's gone. So I think you replaced.
Successfully
Seeing
removed
that
it.
it's gone.
It's gone. But anyway, this is a fun tangent fest.
Yeah.
Where are we at now?
Okay.
Well, Murphy can join us for our game.
I'm
I see why it's gone because we're missing a whole category.
Well, yeah, we haven't even done. We haven't even done.
No,
Andre
it is.
All right.
It is there. It's under. It's gonna be in season 2. Jody Simpson guest. It's right next to Fern Gully and Heavy Metal.
What's the subject for that?
Oh, okay. Fern Gully and Heavy
Cartoon
Metal.
animation.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So my movie pick I mentioned earlier because I mentioned David Hemblin. Was in a movie I watched yesterday. I just recently got the Criterion Channel, and I've been kind of watching a lot of movies on
Criterion Channel on what? A television or like?
No, it's like Netflix. You can get a streaming service called Criterion.
Okay.
So
what's its whole bag? Is it like just a conglomeration of whatever it can buy, or does it have like a theme?
No, it's all the Criterion movies.
Like Shudder.
Yes, but movies like when you buy a Criterion Blu-ray or whatever, it's put out by this company that does these really nice versions of artsy or classic or cult movies, and these really cool editions. So it's just a digital version of that, so you don't have to buy the discs.
It's like the Mondo of DVD sales. Like you can get Criterion collections of like Kurosawa films, and they're just like pure art pieces from front to back.
Yeah, and they restore them all, and they have all this extra stuff. I've been collecting the discs for a long time of movies I like, and even taking chances on ones I don't know anything about, because like I really respect what they do. So I thought being that the discs are so expensive, and there's only so much space in my house, I decided to give the channel a try. So last night I watched.
You live in old barns. Your place is practically a barn. Fill it up with DVDs.
It's actually quite big, but fortunately, I do live with my wife, who doesn't appreciate me filling every corner of the house with shit. So I try to respect it. Oh my god!
We have another cameo. We have no video, but we have a beautiful picture of Jaemeel looking real fly.
I want to get my movie recommendation out.
Yep,
it's Adam Agoyan's The Sweet Hereafter. I watched it yesterday. It's a beautiful movie about a community dealing with a horrible tragedy. And
it doesn't sound very Adam Agoyan, the title.
It's it's a line from a poem, which is what the reference to it is. But it's about a town where a bus accident occurs, and almost all of the children in the town are killed.
Oh my god, I don't want to watch that movie.
And it's about a lawyer that comes to town
terrible.
trying to convince the parents to put a class action lawsuit against the bus company or whoever made the bus. And it's a very interesting movie about kind of David Lynchian in that, idealistic town with a dark underbelly, but also this sort of profound grief and dealing with that. And obviously being someone who lives in Colchester, Nova Scotia, where the biggest mass shooting in Canadian history happened a few years ago, the theme seemed to have.
Don't remind me. I remember the text I got from my mother checking if I was dead or not.
I live literally
plate runs out towards the infield.
I lived where it happened, and I was getting messages that whole weekend asking if I was okay. Yeah. So dealing with those themes hit home more for me. But it's a beautiful movie about about grief and about oddly enough a little bit of hope, and it was very good. I'd hardly suggest it. David Hemblin's in it briefly. He plays a stroke victim in a wheelchair, but he's very good in that minor role.
He could play that.
He plays it very well. His wife his wife was the one driving the bus in the movie. So she's under fire because they but it's like every Adam McGoyan movie. It's kind of a quiet exploration of.
McGoyan did Exotica, right?
He did.
That's going on. That's going on. Hold up. Murphy wants to do a sex, drugs, and rock and roll 3-episode run, and my sex pick was Exotica.
What's your drug pick?
I didn't do that yet.
All right, I'm gonna give you one. You want it?
Oh no, I picked one. It was New Jack City.
Okay. What's the rock and roll one? It better be This Is Spinal Tap.
I had Spinal Tap on there, but it might still be there.
Okay,
actually.
so we had a
drug
sex,
one?
drugs, and rock and roll set up, but he
Spinal
switched it
Tap's
all
still
up.
there, and we have a guest, and he picked Airheads.
Oh,
No,
well,
I picked
that
it.
is kind of a rock and
Oh
roll.
no, that's right. You have a guest for a different episode that picked Airheads, so I have to pick a new thing. That's right. Yeah, you have a guest for our music episode.
I got Patrick. I got Patrick Walford coming in as a guest. He's
All right. So what
a
I would
radio
suggest for
host.
your drug one is Requiem for a Dream.
No, I'm not watching Requiem again. I'm not.
Okay.
No, I reject
I've seen
your
that one
pick.
a few times.
That's a terrible fucking
Apparently,
movie. Requiem can
so far,
fucking get the fuck out of here. Requiem.
So it's about movies that Davan thinks you'll like.
Go to here.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Requiem from Dream will scare the shit out of you.
That's the point. That's the point.
Exactly. It's great, right?
Yeah.
But
apparently, though, he's decided.
So, like,
apparently, he's decided to go with Train Spotting, the other heroin movie.
Oh, that's a rough one.
I'd
Actually, you know
watch
what? Okay, look.
Trainspotting again than Requiem.
Okay,
I don't need to see bad things happen to Jennifer Connelly again. I don't.
Okay, obviously you love Jennifer Connelly, and that's fine. She's wonderful. But have you watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Of course.
Yes.
Well, that's a great drug.
I'd watch that again. That's
a great drug
hilarious.
movie.
I wouldn't be. You know what? To be fair, the first time I ever watched Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, I got so high on weed because I was really young, I fell asleep watching the movie. So I don't.
I just read the book again recently and watched the movie. One of the movie nights I hosted. It's awesome. So yeah,
hearing him talk about like
Murph, are you one of those that like
of a mescaline binge?
Yeah, it makes drug use.
Here's the thing about mescaline.
Davin, hold up. Andres
Jaemeel
asking
here?
a question. Or Jaemeel.
I've always been here. I'm just respectful and let everyone talk.
Oh, jeez, Jaemeel, where's your video? We didn't know you were here because you got no video.
Driving.
I'm
He's
literally
driving.
on my way home.
Oh, well, we're glad you're here.
The dedication.
Spoke up earlier.
What if we hear a car accident with Jaemeel in it?
Jaemeel, why is Andre wrong about all the things he says about my picks on Hold Up?
I never said that he was wrong. I said that I called
I'm
dibs.
asking you why he's wrong.
Well, you're asking the wrong question. My statement was I've already given a multiversal movie pick to Murphy like a month and change ago. It's Coherence.
What was it, Murphy?
Oh yeah, that was
Coherence?
one that I haven't watched yet, but I've heard it's very good.
Maybe make that your pick, Andre.
I haven't watched it yet.
Wait, sorry. What?
That's the thing. We'll watch it for the show. It's better. I always try to pick a movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah. Murphy, remember I was talking about 3 different movies. I was talking about Parallels, and Coherence.
Oh, right. That whole fucking chicanery. I forgot about that.
Parallels is supposed to be very good, too. Or what's that weird
Better
one?
than Last Action Hero?
No,
I never said that. I love that movie, though.
That's a great choice. I would.
Man,
I'm very
Last
happy
Action
watch
Hero
that movie.
good. So good.
But there's a lot of weird ones, like like older weird. There's a few older weird, like the one with Jet Li would be one that would work.
The one?
Yeah, not that I'm saying it's a good movie.
Is that alternate dimensions?
Yeah, they're
it
versions of him
is.
from all different universes.
Yeah, he has to kill
like,
versions of himself to become stronger. It's great.
Yeah, the less energy that's spread across of his essence across parallel universe, the more that die, the stronger he
Jason Statham before he was a star.
Yeah, and there's Jet Li is
He was a stunt guy.
Jet Li's an evil version that's trying to become the last one left, so the most powerful. But then there's also like
he's the Highlander.
Kind of. But there's a good version of him that's also trying to fight against him. And
Delroy Lindo is also in it.
So who would
He's more
win
like
Jet
Kang
in
the
a fight?
Conqueror.
Jet Li or Christopher Lambert?
Jet Li.
What do you think Jet Li could win in a fight against Christopher Lambert?
100%. Christopher
Not
Lambert
even
really
a fucking question.
Yeah,
I
Christopher
know, it's
Lambert's
not
not like
even
a real fight guy. He's just an actor.
Yeah, but
Apparently
man,
he actually is like a karate expert or
but
whatever.
he does things like, I don't think so.
Well, you got Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow. That was the parallel universe sort of thing.
Well, you can pick Coherence or Gwyneth Paltrow. I know
Well,
what I think.
Coherence is supposed to be quite a good movie, and I haven't seen it, so I will probably pick that.
No,
All right, so we're replacing Event
So
Drive
we have a
with
new
Coherence.
format for Hold Up. Did you check that? Did you hear that, Jaemeel? The guests can pick post 2000s movie if
Anything they
so
want, so they can take your shackles off.
Any
Makes
yeah.
a lot of sense. Who thought of it? Person must be
Andre.
very smart.
Andre's been trying to restructure our show from the very beginning.
Yeah, I was here. I was listening when you all did the conversation, so I was just going to put that plug in.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're all four of us are here. Let's play a game. Oh no, wait.
No, we
We
can,
just did you do your movie thing? You
I did. It's
Adam
a Sweet
McGoy.
Hereafter by Emma Goya.
Yeah.
Also,
and also check out
thing.
Exotica.
It turns out
by Adam McGoy.
I got the Studio Ghibli movie collection. I forgot I had this. I went through the trouble of getting the Ghibli movies on the internet. It comes with basically the entire collection of Ghibli films.
Awesome. I got I bought those.
Nice.
Remember when they put out those box set, the Blu-ray sets that are like a big cardboard square that have the disc and like a CD and a book. They did them for Mononoke, Totoro, Princess Mononoke, and I think not Kiki's Delivery Service.
Maybe Spirited Away, probably.
Spirited Away is the other one.
That's
See, I learned.
But I have Blu-ray versions of most of the other ones. I like the Cat Returns a lot. I have to go back and rewatch it. It's been a long time.
There was also that we watched that one about airplanes that Murphy.
Oh yeah,
The Wind Rises, I believe it was called.
Yes, that was correct.
Yeah, which was good. I want to rewatch that in the English dub, just because of the English cast.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
what?
That might be what. Yeah, it's got a crazy
seriously.
English.
They got like
cast,
Stanley
like,
Tucci as like the Italian airplane guy, and they've got what was it? What's his name? But he from like the Rush, the bicycle film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He plays the main character.
Wait, that's what you think of when you think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt in his career?
Premium Third Rock from the Sun.
Premium Rush, yes. The one where he rides a bicycle. I fucking love that film. It's a great film.
Actually, I've heard it's a good movie. I've never seen it.
I think Murphy's making me watch that on Hold Up later.
Well, there's also
the moment we have a bicycle themed episode.
Before I make the final decision on this extra the parallel universe movie, there's another one that I looked at that I've been wanting to watch for a while called Run Lola Run, which I've been thinking about as well.
Whoa, I've seen Run Lola Run. It's not a multiverse movie.
Amazing.
It is though, because it doesn't generally split the story from different decisions she makes and change where it goes.
It is sort of based on
like
time period.
20 years
It's
ago.
more like Groundhog's Day. It's closer to a Groundhog's
Day.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, maybe I'll stick with Coherence then.
Lola Run's a good movie though. I'll get that into the show at some point.
All right, Coherence it is.
Yeah, if you loved Run Lola Run, you'll love Victoria.
All right, cool.
Victoria, I loved Victoria. Jaemeel, what's wrong with you, bud? I love you, but man, Victoria was.
Don't.
We're real Berlin guys. We're real Berlin guys here.
Real Berlin guys.
Berlin guys. I mean, obviously, like if we're trying to boil down the theme to its chorus thing, I'd probably pick one of the Spider-Verse movies. But I mean, we already got some real modern.
They're all great. They're all like.
Well, I mean, even
I
the
gave
new
it a perfect 10.
I like the Doctor Strange movie, so I picked that too. But it's fine. I think something different, based that we already have the other. I know you didn't, Chris, but I did.
Murphy and Jaemeel.
Sam Raimi has my number.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I'm gonna do that. I was about to do my gardening segment, but no, I'm not. I'm gonna do this segment.
Perhaps you better take over from here.
We've done this. This is my sweet tunes for the X-Goons. So, what kind of tunes do I want to? Here's the thing, X-Goons. Do you like bass?
Are you all about that bass? About that bass? No treble?
No, I'm talking about actual bass playing.
Slap of the bass.
So, slap of the bass.
Like
exactly.
Okay.
Well, better than Primus.
What? Impossible.
No, it's not.
Who is a
I'm
better
about to
bass
say
player than
why.
Primus?
I can give you probably a list of 10 people, but
Impossible.
no, it's.
All right, go ahead.
Here's number one
I'd like
on
to
the
leave
list
at some
right
point.
now. Sweet tunes. No, you don't. Sweet tunes for the X-Goons.
I'm playing The Quarry, and I'm on the last chapter. I really want to finish it before I go to bed tonight. Such a good game. Anyway, continue.
Look, Marcus Miller. Have you heard of Marcus Miller? Marcus Miller is the greatest bass player who has ever picked up a bass. Why? Because there are great bass players, such as Victor Wooten. And you can, honestly, Les Claypool, fellas, is not in the conversation. Victor Wooten is an incredible bass player. But Marcus Miller can do what Look, fellas. There's a whole brand of music
fellas, I don't know what's going on here.
that teenagers have never heard of. And those are where the real musicians are. Okay, fellas.
That's a pretty, patronizing opinion. It's teenagers have never heard of this.
Well, maybe teenagers have heard of Marcus Miller, but I doubt they have. Maybe they have, but I doubt.
Or some, just like some older people who aren't teenagers, have never heard of him. You know,
if we want to look semantics, fine. But I
had the
bet you I could
privilege.
grab 100 teenagers right now, and maybe one of them have heard of Marcus Miller.
Devin,
Maybe.
I'll let you know right now. I had the privilege roughly 10 years ago of seeing Primus in Montreal, high on LSD, and when I saw Les Claypool play bass with 12 fingers on one of his hands, I saw the greatest bassist alive.
I don't know this guy.
Honestly, he's okay. He's okay.
Wait,
Murph.
He's very good. But if you're talking upper echelon guys like Marcus Miller and Victor Wooten, Les Claypool is okay.
So let's name other ones.
Or Stanley Clark, the great bassists.
So let's name some others you're glossing over. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Geddy Lee.
Okay, no.
From Rush.
He's okay. Look,
Lemmy.
We're ending this now. Marcus Miller. Go listen to Marcus Miller, and I won't have to explain myself anymore. Go listen to any album by Marcus Miller.
Thundercat.
No.
Thundercat, yeah. You
no,
can't
go listen to Marcus Miller. No. Charles Mingus isn't a bass player.
You played bass?
Cookie from King.
Charles Mingus is not a bass player.
You are having one of your delusions.
Oh. Did I do that?
Who else could it have been? We don't
It wasn't me. He literally decided to say that on his own.
Well, you might be onto something. Bootsy.
I'm not delusional, Beast. No, he was talking
I'm sure
about
Marcus Miller is a
wonderful
bassist. But if
the
perhaps
bass player.
any of these X-Goons like something a little more modern, a little more fresh, something a little more new, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard dropped their new album recently past Friday.
They have a new album.
The album's called Petro-Dragonic Apocalypse, or Dawn of Eternal Night, an annihilation of planet Earth and the beginning of merciless damnation. One of the best thrash metal albums I've heard in recent days.
How can you keep up? They have a new album every 2 weeks. It's insane.
You know what real musicians can't do? The best of the best? Put out an album every 2 weeks because they're the best of the best. So listen to Marcus Miller.
I disagree with
any
that.
album, but no, you shouldn't.
David,
you shouldn't.
I disagree with that. They could, but they don't.
Because they want to excel at what they do.
Do you remember when this show used to be about the X-Men?
Yeah, well, I've been trying to get this freaking music recommendation out for like 20 minutes.
All right.
You did. You said listen to Marcus Miller.
I've been trying to get the album out for 20 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, there's a million Marcus albums. Listen to them all. But Marcus, there's an album called Marcus.
So he's not in a
His
band.
name
It's
is
just
Marcus.
his own thing.
He was in a band. He played bass for.
But if you were to look him up,
it might have been Sly and the Family Stone. He might have been the bass player for Sly.
Well, that's
like it was one
Kenny
of those
Rogers of bass players.
Oh, that's not fair.
You mean Larry Graham?
Kenny Rogers was a great Kenny Rogers.
He's so disgusted.
Larry Graham was the bass player for Sly and the.
Did you just kick him out of the conversation?
Oh, literally, you did kick him out.
All three of you guys go listen to Marcus Miller, and then get back to me. And then
but Larry Graham.
Listen to Marcus Miller, Bruce Lee. That's a great song. Oh, Marcus Miller. You'll see what I mean, because he can do all the virtuoso shit that like a Victor Wooten can do, but Marcus Miller never loses the groove, ever. Never.
But did he ever play Jerry as a race car driver? I don't think so.
Or
let's play a game. Let's
why
play a
known as
little
Big
game.
Brown Beaver.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
I like Les Claypool. Actually, my brother for my Christmas, I think, gave me it's Les Claypool and Primus doing.
Jaemeel go. Oh, there he is.
Doing covers of all.
Jameel's here! Yay! It's Jaemeel.
Wow, he's in a comic book.
Jaemeel.
Store. He's in a toy store.
Hey,
did you break
no,
into
that's Jameel's. Jaemeel lives.
I'm gonna have to bounce
store.
out and come back in. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
But yeah, Jaemeel lives in.
Yeah, that's just Jameel's man cave. It's just walled line to line with
awesome.
Funko Pop. Like,
if you've ever wondered if there's a pop figure about a thing, it's in Jameel's room, and it does.
Oh, I used to collect all the Rick and Morty ones, but I gave up once I got into like there's so many, it was just impossible to keep up. So
yeah.
One day, pop figures will destroy the oceans. So there's that.
Yeah, my brother gave me. It was Primus doing all of the songs from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's such a good fucking album.
It's one of my favorite albums.
Look, I'm happy for you guys in your white people music, but there are real big bass players out there. Okay.
So why are you trying to diminish what we like by boiling it down to some racist thing? Jesus Christ!
Because I don't know. Look, I do have a certain racial bent when it comes to music.
I think it's
like there are certain styles of music where I know if I go to a show, it's gonna be an entire room full of white people all dressed the same, and that makes me uncomfortable. So if there's a style of music that reflects that, tends to make me uncomfortable. Yes,
music?
like
listen,
yes,
we're
like
talking
a punk or a metal
Return
show.
of Bruno
I know if I go there.
Bruce Willis. Okay,
well,
this is a vinyl record of
look,
the Return
don't bring
of
up the best album of all time. Look, there's no reason to bring up the greatest album of all time.
If I had to pick an album that I can really pick out a bass line that I think really grooves as one of the best, it'd be the Herbie Hancock one, and had
Watermelon Man.
No, the one that had Chameleon. Is that the one? What's the one with the big yellow face on the cover? I have it on vinyl.
Yeah, Herbie Hancock. It might have been Marcus Miller playing bass for Herbie Hancock.
Well, that album is fantastic, and like that was probably one of the best. It is off that album. Watermelon Man is on that album, but it's
Watermelon Man's great song.
Headhunters is the name of the album, isn't it? Yeah, Headhunters.
Just playing bass on it.
Good question. Herbie Hancock Headhunters album. Anyway, that's one of my favorite bassline albums. So like, it's not about picking white people.
Hancock's
it's about that. It's about what works, and that's the one that I think works the best. Who did?
I know. I have a thing. It's a thing. I understand. I have a bias. There's a certain thing, and I guess it's where you grow up or where you live. But there are certain very white genres of music where musicians get really over glorified because they're big in that style of music, but in the grand scheme of what they do, they're very low on the scale.
Yeah, bass is never appreciated.
That bothers me quite a bit. Like people
right.
talk about Les Claypool and Flea when they should be talking about Victor Wooten and Marcus Miller, and I actually kind of do get really irritated about shit like that. But that's
but if you get upset by every popular like if you think about like. I mean, your driver.
No, it's just when like in conversations about the greatest, people are like, "Oh, but Flea." I'm like, "Yeah, but we're not talking about the greatest bass players here. We're talking about the greatest bass players you heard on Q104."
Yeah,
like,
okay. Like,
there's a way different conversation to be had.
Paul Jackson was a bass player in that album, but yeah, if you drive yourself nuts if you're trying to like get into those sort of arguments, because like if you look, like The Rock has $800 million from being an actor. Is he a great actor? No. But like Michael Shannon probably has like $50 million from being an actor. Is he a much better actor than The Rock? Yes. But
who's Michael Shannon?
He was Zod in the Superman movie, but he's been in a million other
I know you
movies.
probably can hear me.
Yep.
I can't hear anyone because I'm an idiot.
You can't hear anybody?
I messed up my settings when I was streaming.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
But he can't hear us, so why are we telling him that we can hear him? Anyway,
so what
that is a very good point.
So we got your album. What's next? What's our next segment?
Go ahead.
Did we get
I
my
can hear you
album?
now.
What did I even say?
There
Oh,
we go.
Marcus by Marcus Miller. Yeah,
Marcus by Marcus Miller.
So
We're looking forward to
now
listening.
we're basically on to we can either party like it's 1990 '97, or we can play a game. You guys want to play a game with us?
Play a game. Is this like a Saw
You know
thing?
what?
'Cause I don't want to play a game. Is this like a Saw type
I
game?
saw the
I'd have to
first
cut my
one
own
where
eye out?
Barry Elwes had to cut his hand off, or whatever.
It was his foot.
Yes.
You paid a lot of attention.
You know, if
I
you
don't
like
like
watch that
You
film,
know what?
back,
I don't really like gore porn.
the best part about the Saw film is if you actually watch the film back, the guy laying on the floor, Jigsaw, his foot goes from laying down to up, laying down to up.
Oh, that's
several
awesome.
different scenes. It's one of the
You know who
slight
did that
clues
movie?
that he's alive.
James Wan, who has like done a billion horror movies since.
Yep.
And
That
one
is
that I
cool.
highly suggest if you haven't seen Malignant. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It is
It came out last year, right?
It came out during COVID. It was like 2021 or 2022. 2020, early 2022, I think. But he did it during COVID for a very low budget. But it is one of the most batshit crazy concepts for a horror movie I've ever seen that actually works. And it's a great testament that like you're only limited by your creativity to make a movie work. It's fantastic. It's crazy. It's gonzo, it's batshit, but it's fun and well worth watching. Check it out, Malignant.
We're gonna play a little game we call Expert Casting over here on X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show, because we've got some. This is a cameo-laden episode, so we're gonna try to cast some of these characters that showed up in this episode for a live-action MCU production. Okay. So we're gonna throw this around. We've got a few characters.
Jaemeel sighs like his life's on the line. He's like, oh.
Well, Jaemeel, since you sighed, I'll throw the first one to you, and I'll throw a good one at you. Who shall play Psylocke?
Psylocke.
In an MCU. Yeah.
Olivia Munn.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know
No.
what? I've heard that so many times.
She did
You
already.
have to-
That's why she
you
did
have
an
to-
Apocalypse.
Even before that,
No, she didn't.
it's regardless. I don't think you should go with Olivia Munn whatsoever. I think you can go in a totally different direction altogether.
An actress.
I know who I'd pick.
An actor. You could actually hire an actress.
I would pick, and I might be incorrect in terms of nationality, but she played one of the main performers in Sense8. Asian performer. She was.
You should be Japanese to play Psylocke if you want to be very specific.
I'm not quite sure if she's Japanese or not. That's the issue, right?
Well, go for it anyway.
Bae Duna. Or think of the
Once again, you give me a. She played Sun, right?
Yes,
I
Yes.
think you're thinking
she's
of?
South
Yeah.
Korean.
Oh,
You racist! No, I'm just kidding.
Not a racist
Totally
bastard.
kidding. Totally. No, leave him alone.
I just feel that we could do better than Olivia Munn. We can actually get.
Yeah, if we can have
person
Olivia
who can-
Munn play Psylocke, we can have a South Korean play Psylocke.
You know who I would have? My choice would be the girl that played Colleen Wing on Iron Fist. What's her name?
She was Natasha.
Jessica Henwick.
Jessica Henwick.
She was
so close,
great
Davin. So close.
She
was
born,
great as
she was born in
uh,
England, but I don't know
Colleen
where her
Wing.
parents are from. She was really good in that show, and she'd be good.
I'll give you the perfect.
I like
Psylocke
that
pick.
choice.
Her mother's Chinese. God damn it.
You want the perfect Psylocke?
What if you just Googled Japanese actresses?
Her dad was
no.
Zimbabwean.
The first person I thought of should be Christina Chong, aka Lanunian's
Oh.
song.
No, she's not the right one. I love.
Well,
Christina
she's
Chong.
British.
She's not the one.
You know, she's
And
got
Japanese.
the accent.
No,
I
and
think she's
Chinese.
got the look.
That's-
And she's
no.
half Chinese, but you know, we're splitting hairs here.
Christina Chong's not
We're
the one.
splitting hairs
She's not
here.
the one.
She's mostly British. Even Psylocke speaks British.
Speaks
That's what you
British.
Even Psylocke speaks
Bro.
British.
Bro. I feel like
What, bruv?
I feel like we're starting off on the wrong foot. with immediately making concessions, like, oh, we don't need to follow any type of nationalities, underrepresented Japanese.
We totally should.
He got rid of himself out of shame. You're right. I shall leave now. Take my leave of you.
Okay, fair enough. Next person. Let's put the world mind on the hot
Murphy, this
seat.
one's to you. Yeah, we're putting world mind on the hot seat. Who plays Warren Worthington III?
Ben Foster.
Archangel.
I'm just gonna name people that have played him in the live action movies.
No, not Ben Foster. No one knows who Ben Foster is.
Ben Foster is a fantastic actor.
He's a fantastic actor. I just think he was terrible in that role.
He's probably not the best choice for Angel, but he's a fantastic actor.
I already have my person picked out for that.
Okay, what do you got, Murphy?
Who would be a pretty good Angel? Actually,
you can play a blonde rich boy with wicked
Butler.
abs.
Austin Butler.
That's actually not a bad choice.
The guy who played Elvis.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice.
Well,
he can play.
People keep talking about that fella these days. I haven't seen him in anything.
I put
Elvis, and he was on like a bunch of Disney shows before that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking Scott Eastwood.
Oh, Kevin Eastwood's kid, or not Kevin Eastwood kid.
Clint Eastwood's kid.
Clint Eastwood's kid.
Yeah.
He would be good too, but
I do like the Austin Butler choice.
I would go with that one too. That's a good choice, I think.
That's a good choice.
All right, well, I'm throwing one to you now, Andre. And now I think we can confirm. We were wondering about Shard and her ethnicity as related to Bishop because she's his sister. I do believe Shard is a black character. She's just lighter skinned than Bishop.
I do believe.
Was there were you not sure?
We have
like honestly, I've had Shard toys. I have Shard.
He's like we have consulted the charts, and
Shard,
it's like a Pantone chart.
Shard in comics.
Apparently she's the daughter of mutant indigenous Australian refugees, so technically she would be indigenous.
Oh, so she's an Australian Aborigine. Okay, interesting. See, she was always it was hard to figure out. Anyway, so go for that. Who's our Australian Aborigine?
She's got melanin in her skin, basically.
I just want to see Davan with like the paint swatches, like hold them up, like what this one
is caramel or is this sand?
Look, you guys. Here's all I gotta say to you guys.
I don't need my psychic abilities to know that you wish it had been you.
Look, I'm the show here. You guys just settle down.
All right. Well, look. I mean, if I'm going with Australian Indigenous actresses,
yeah, you need an Australian Aborigine actress to play Shard.
I'm pretty shoehorned into a pretty small group of women, but based on a quick Google search, I'm going to go.
An unfortunately small group of women, let us say. More Australian Aborigine representation, I say.
Well, this girl's 35 years old, so this works. Her name is Miranda.
That works
Tapsell.
for Shard, yeah.
Miranda Tapsell.
Okay, Miranda.
Everybody's Googling her immediately.
Yeah, what was she in? Give us some of her body.
Anything popular? Nothing that you would have heard of. So I had to pick an average.
I think she'd be great in this role. Let me tell you, I think she would be great.
How about Charmaine Bingwa, who
was on
was
the Wolf Creek TV show, which actually was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it should be Claudia Black.
I don't even know who that is.
Black.
Did you rate
I love Claudia Black. But no, I don't think that's the right role for her.
The whitest person in it. Oh, she's Australian.
Yeah, she's Australian.
Yeah, she is.
I think Nicole Kidman would kill it. I mean,
oh my god!
And then we'll find a role for Charlize Theron as well as we'll find a black.
Welcome to the last episode of X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Charmaine Bigua was in The Good Fight, the TV show. She was in Black Box and Emancipation, and she's won the Heath Ledger Scholarship Award. So.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so, she looks the closest to Shard. Actually, that's a good casting.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you. You.
Good job, Jaemeel. We found ourselves a Shard.
Well, fuck you guys. Tabsell was obviously the better choice. Miranda Tapsell, who I just had to go back and look at because I couldn't remember what one I picked. It's obviously the best one.
Old Tapsell. One of the best. One of the best.
She was on the Sapphires. She was on Back to the Outback, Top End Wedding, Christmas
You
Ransom.
go back to the
Top
Outback.
tier.
Really
Top tier.
Hey, look who I found coming to join the party.
She worked in The Dry with Eric Bana. I mean, come on.
I'm not even assigning one to myself. We're moving on.
To join the party.
So we'll party like it's S4E19 here for a second because I don't know if we mentioned this on this show, but the X-Men 97 release was delayed. Well, I guess we did just mention it earlier. But yeah, it's pushed back to some random time early next year. So we'll see what happens. The longer it takes, the more weird
Jan
shit
1st.
Andre and I do until it shows up.
I stand by the fact that it's Jan 1st.
You know I don't consult you before we do things, Andre. We're just doing it.
Yeah. I feel things might be easier if you did sometimes.
You'd think, right?
But I'm just along for the ride, buddy. Whatever you want to do.
I used to consult you, and you're like, "Stop bothering me with all your."
I did not
like,
say that. Come on. There's no way I said that.
I'll bring it back up. We'll prove this all to the X-Goons. Patreons only, though. Patrons can find out the truth.
For the three people that do it.
Jaemeel and 2 other guys.
Jaemeel, you're a saint.
Jaemeel, you are a wonderful human. I love you.
What am I, chop liver?
Jaemeel,
you're not a patron.
Jaemeel, answer my message and come on my podcast, you jerk.
Yeah, well, there's
I
that.
sent him a message 6 months ago.
It's just still on Reddit. It's on Reddit.
2 months ago.
And not responded. Still hasn't responded. Still hasn't answered.
So that's a lesson for Eamon. He has to wait too, because I got to get to you first.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Eamon show.
I'll fill in for Eamon. Don't worry. I got all kinds of musical recommendations.
For Eamon, I know I'm gonna pick something, and he's just gonna look at me and is like, "Really? This is dumb."
That's what he does for me too, man.
So does Eamon?
No, I think he's gonna be like, "This is old," as opposed to.
But I hate to be racial again, but if it wasn't for me, Eamon show will be entirely white bands, and then I show up and be like, "Here, let's listen to reggae." Or let's listen to
Thank
blues.
you for
and then
solving
it'll go back
racism,
to 45
Davan.
minutes.
Thank you.
No, but like
white man
there is a musical bent towards what people are exposed to. That is
first. It was
you see, the secret is you got to have a little bit of the white part and the chocolate part in the cookie.
No, man, you'll see. Go listen to Marcus Miller. You'll see. You'll be like, I never want to listen to Flea again.
First, the movie
Look towards the cookie.
First, the movie The Help came out, which started to solve racism. then Barack Obama became president, which took us 75% of the way.
No.
Then
To Kill a Mockingbird solved racism, Andre. To Kill a Mockingbird solved racism.
Davin brought
like
a black
60 years ago.
Podcast, and that solved it 100% of the way. That filled in the rest.
Look, all I know is that Meteor Man walks so that Black Panther can fly, okay?
Yeah, man.
You know what? 100%,
no, but Bill Cosby was
100%.
in Meteor Man, so it's disgrace now.
100% Meteor Man should be on one of your guys' movie podcasts.
Oh
that actually is.
No, Bill Cosby's in it.
No,
but so is Robert Townsend. It balances out.
That's right.
Yeah, true. I used to love Meteor Man. I used to rent it from Need.
Oh, I love that movie still.
It's a great
movie.
Yeah, man.
It's so wacky.
You know what's so funny?
When you were a kid,
when you were a kid and you were like, I love superhero comics. I just really want to watch superhero movies. There's like 4
Even Meteor Man.
It's like
I know that's what happened to me.
There was like Tim Burton's Batman movies, and there was like the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and that's it.
And
You're like,
Meteor
wait,
Man.
before we got X-Men, before we got Daredevil, which wasn't great.
I would count Beastmaster. I would count Beastmaster.
No,
Beastmaster.
it would not.
No, get out of here.
Yes, Beastmaster is a superhero movie.
You know what?
It's a sword. It's a sword.
No.
It's a sword and
It's
sorcery.
a sword and
film.
sorcery. You know what HBO used to stand for? Hey, Beastmaster's on. It was on HBO 24/7. That movie.
Yeah, it's like in between the episodes of Dream On. It's Beastmaster.
Beastmaster.
You
Listen,
see their
it's good-
schedule is
it's
like
good
2
enough.
hours of HBO and plus an
I
encore
was gonna say-
presentation of Beastmaster.
Beastmaster's good enough. The make it into Kraven the Hunter. So
I actually, do you see the trailer for that came out today?
I did.
Oh,
I was like,
looks,
this is Beastmaster.
with the sprinkling of fucking Zeus in there. We got
a slight touch of
Russell
Punisher.
Crowe in there for some reason.
So the countdown is
read Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, well, they're not going to do that in this movie because they don't have a Spider-Man. Why do all Spider-Man's villains need to become anti-heroes with their own movie? I'm sick.
They don't.
Exactly, but that's what
they shouldn't.
Sony.
Stop.
It's because Sony's trying to hold on to the IP with death fingers. They've got to stretch out their IP license.
Exactly. There is a thing where they have to produce so many movies.
I know, and it sucks.
But
it sucks.
Just use Andrew. Just use Andrew.
Yeah.
Or just keep making Miles movies. They're awesome, at least. Like, I'd rather watch 10 Miles movies than have Morbius.
Honestly, I think the companies
they're gonna make the Chameleon movie or
Disney
the fucking
should just buy
Paste
Sony
Pot
and
Pete
get this
movie.
over with,
You guys want to watch Paste Pot Pete the movie?
You mean the Trapster? His previous.
Well, if you want to get modern with it, let's go old school and do a 1960s Paste Pot Pete.
They're already doing a Madam Web
period
movie.
pick.
Yeah,
they're doing a fucking Madam Web movie. Who is out there saying, you know what, we need a Madam
Can we have a Julia Carpenter movie, please?
And you
I want a Julia Carpenter movie.
She's in the movie.
She's in the movie.
She is Madam Web.
No,
she works with Madam Web or whatever.
Julia Carpenter is Madam.
She is now in the
Courtney Sweetney is going to be Julia Carpenter, but another character,
Dakota Fanning, Dakota. What's her? Don Johnson,
female
Dakota
actresses
Johnson
plays.
It's Dakota
Madam
Johnson
Web.
as Madam Web.
Yes,
They're
gonna make it into like a role that can transition. So Courtney Sweetney will probably take over that role.
So the girl from 50
Julia
Shades of Grey,
Carpenter.
is playing Madam Web. Dakota Johnson.
Well, they will have two Julia Carpenters in that movie because there's young Julia Carpenter and then there's Madam Web, who is like a future version of Julia Carpenter.
See, Davan, your issue is you're trying to think that these executives are looking at the comics books
or care at all about them.
Right? You have Lords and Miller who are like, you know what? This is the last of Miles before this IP is totally ruined by Sony exec saying, how about Miles goes to Africa? Like, I could see Sony making that movie.
He could team up with Shaft.
Yes. You know it.
Miles, the Black Spider. They'll call him. That'll be their movie.
No,
I used to when I was younger. I'm not a fan of symbiotes whatsoever. So when I was younger, I always used
Jameel's hatred for symbiotes is well known.
Yeah, I used to always say I'd rather see the Spot in a Spider-Man film than see
Spot
Venom.
is awesome,
and
especially
you don't know the
Spot voiced
elation
by
in my
Jason
heart. I
Schwartzman.
forgot to bring it up in the review.
Yeah,
to see Spot, right? This king just lord over all of Sony's villains. It's great,
especially voiced by Jason Schwartzman, which is such a great choice.
Yeah, that was funny.
So good.
Oh yes.
Hey, man, I always say it's a great time to be a comic nerd. Like, if you would have told me I would have seen the Spot in any movie, I never would have believed you. If you would have told me I would have seen Thanos in a movie, let alone making him the main villain in a Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord, all these people.
But when's the last time you saw Meteor Man in a movie?
Well, he deserves a comeback.
Time's coming. Oh wait, isn't he? Oh, Secret Wars. Secret Wars.
Meteor Man Secret Wars. Marvel can take all my money.
Wait, Marvel owns Meteor Man, right?
No.
Meteor Man and
why would they?
Meteor Man and Blank Man team up in Secret Wars.
Yes. Oh my god!
Meteor Man is part of the Marvel universe.
What?
He is.
Why? How? Where's Jaemeel?
You left us with a cliffhanger.
That's a hell of a cliffhanger.
Classic Jaemeel.
I think his Meteor Man was a Fox property, which is owned by Disney, which is owned by Marvel.
Yes, that would be it.
Is that it? Jaemeel is Meteor Man Fox?
Because Meteor Man was a Fox movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So Meteor Man teams up with Blank Man and Kraven the Hunter and gets
into
Oh
god.
I just see like a tax man just waiting at the exit of the theater. Davan, you stated on this episode that all your money will now become property of Marvel Universe or Marvel Studios.
We beg to differ.
They don't need the $50.
So would there be a cameo from Handy Capable Man from In Living Color?
Oh, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
no, because Blank Man is Marlon Wayans, who's both characters. So that'd be a parallel universe thing.
Yeah.
It'd be multiverse. It'd be a multiple Marlon Wayans. And then so it'll be Marlon Wayans teaming up with Blank Man. Or wait, Damon Wayans.
Major Payne.
Major Payne. Also,
Farm Marshal Bill.
We could bring
in Cloud shows up.
We could bring in Marlon Wayans from White Chicks. We can get everybody in with this, bring them all in.
Marlon Wayans, Ian Carter.
So when he was on Mark Maron's podcast, he mentioned how popular that show was, and which made me horrifyingly realize they're probably going to make a sequel to White Chicks.
Oh, White Chicks is stupid popular.
It's so fucking bad, though.
I've never seen it.
It doesn't matter. People like all you see, like literally, I see people like Vanessa Carlton probably made probably $3 million off of just White Chicks with that 1,000 miles. And then that dance sequence. You know how many times I've seen people recreate the dance sequence? Like no, I mean the actual dance sequence, the girl on girl ones, right? Beg me forgiveness in advance. White girls, right? Especially young, college girls, they love that, love recreating that. I see it all the time on TikTok.
What is wrong with this world? Ow. This world. Okay.
It's their house party, I guess.
Before we shut down this horrible show, has anybody seen The Flash yet?
Not
yet. I refuse to, and so does Jaemeel, because we have personal integrity.
Yeah, they're not getting a dime from me, unfortunately.
Yes, exactly.
I understand,
boys and people out there.
I understand their reasoning and their integrity. I understand the reasoning and their integrity. Don't get me wrong. I do not.
So is it an Ezra Miller issue? That's why you don't want to give it money?
That's
I don't support pedophiles in any means whatsoever.
I don't.
Is he a pedophile? I thought he just got drunk and
grooming young people. It makes you a pedophile. Yes.
I didn't know.
Is that what he did?
Okay. First of all,
Jaemeel?
I'm not excusing any of the Ezra Miller shit.
So that's what
the reason why I want to see this movie is because I've been waiting years for a Flash movie. I'm seeing that movie to support all the other people that spent years making that film, and I'm not going to let Ezra Miller being a complete douchebag ruin the opportunity and hard work. Will the movie be good? Well, I don't. The remains to be seen. From what I hear, it's not that great.
Man, I always tell people nobody can bring you down quicker than your friends. The people you choose to work with is a decision you made.
So, Murph, I understand that. And
no, man,
I understand if you want to go see it. There's a ton of people that work on the production, and it's unfortunate that they decided to kind of screw things up for all of them. But at the same time, there's a choice in terms of spending money. Like I hear people going, "Oh, it's such a shame. It's such a shame that the movie's going to do poorly because so many people worked hard on the film. So many people work hard on tons of films, tons of films that." Don't make a dime because people don't go and see it. The only reason why people care about this one is because it has like the same
Batman
$100 million advertising budget because it's in your face, right? How many people went to see The Blackening? 6 million it made this weekend. I've been hearing that it's a great film.
See it, but it hasn't come to my town yet, so I might make a trip to Halifax.
So there's tons of people that work on that. Are we not going to give them the same type of grace? So I understand what you mean, but at the same time, I kind of push back against that reasoning. If you want to see it, you can go and see it, but don't feel sad that they're going to lose money or they're not going to get.
He's going to lose money for hiring a pedophile.
Tons of people are going to see this film
and then doubling down on them. They're like, well, we don't know.
Hey, listen,
they're
DC fucked up on that aspect, right? They had the opportunity. Listen, I want to see what kind of train wreck this is because they've painted themselves into a massive corner. They had the opportunity to fix it. They could have easily recasted the role with Grant Gustin from the Flash show. He was a great Flash, and he would do really good in the film universe, in my opinion. I want to see what they did, and I'm going to make my judgments based on that because I do enjoy the DC movies, and I want to see
better be one out there
retconning everything up until this moment. I'm like, well, this is your moment to retcon it, and they've bet their entire house on this one cornerstone movie to carry them forward for the next 30 to 40 years. I want.
They haven't. They're going to forget about this movie ever existed because James Gunn's going to reboot the entire universe.
This is all getting redone.
So you can actually, Murphy, just skip this movie, not give a pedophile your money, and it will have no effect on future DC movies. So rest easy.
Davin, the pedophile isn't getting my money because the pedophile already got his money. He already got paid for this, right? He's
no, they get residuals off how much it makes.
Well,
yes,
in my defense, I already paid the pedophile the money because I didn't know he's a pedophile.
So look, Andre's going to hunt him down and he's going to take the money back. Okay, don't worry.
I just thought he was a drunk idiot that got in a bunch of fights in Florida. I didn't realize it went further than that.
Yeah, he did a lot of grooming.
No.
But
okay, well then, regardless, I saw it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's fine, but it's got some perplexingly bad CGI. There's some,
but the director said it was purposeful.
Oh, why?
The director said that it was on purpose
to take you out of the film. I like Andy Muschietti. I like the It movies, but this one, like, there's
I didn't like that new It movie.
And Murphy, I push back. I don't think they should have used Grant Gustafson. I think they should have followed the previous example with Kevin Spacey and get Christopher Plummer to refilm all the scenes and have Christopher Plummer as the Flash. I would have loved to see that.
He's dead. He died.
I'll go see that movie.
CGI.
CG.
We can do that.
Let's get the Tupac hologram and put it in the movie. Tupac
I would have loved
is the Flash.
The Flash?
No, better yet, we can
just get Grandmaster Flash to do it then.
I'm not racing to go to the theater and jump in. Like I do have intentions to see this movie. Whether it's probably downloading it through third-party means, i.e. pirates, and watching it.
Steal the movie. A mission of illegal activity on our podcast.
Steal it.
I said a mission of third-party means. There's no clarification.
He's not going to share it.
Just made the movie are clearly sending me a
legit
legit
admitted to doing LSD earlier, which is also a crime. So
I know. Murphy's all about exposing himself for now.
It's well past the statute of limits, and I didn't harm anybody except myself.
Move in now. Move the eagle has landed. Move in. Run, Murphy, run!
Murphy's out of here.
Smart play.
The police are on their way, Murphy. You better hide your LSD.
You know what? I think I do have to come on your movie podcast because this is fun. I think I would enjoy this.
This is what our show's like. It's just me and Murphy talking bullshit, and Jaemeel like showing up for spare change on occasion.
Because I'm angry.
I like Jameel's like me because I just send Davan like a bunch of messages that are like, "You sound like an asshole. Why are you so mean to Chris? And like, why are you so mean to this movie?" I sent him one like when he was saying in the movie about how Totoro is like, he's like, "No modern child would like Totoro," and I messed immediately when I heard it in my head.
My 4-year-old
and I was like, my cousin's 4-year-old loves that fucking movie.
I'm like, oh well, piece of shit then. Like,
yeah. You need to go to anime cons because Totoro is like beloved.
Just Davan
boring. It's just boring. It was very boring.
But Davan makes like sweeping comments that are like, everyone should hate this movie, or like, if you don't like this movie, you're an idiot, or whatever. Like, it's
we're an opinion show. I'm not going to qualify. Me and Andre have had this discussion before. I'm not going to be like, in my opinion, every time I express my opinion on an opinion show.
But he also going to say, if you don't like this album, you're a piece of shit.
If you like UHF, you have a bad humor bone in your body.
Well, sir,
or you just like fun. You just like fun.
Well, sir, I love UHF, and it's a fantastic.
You're all wrong.
I actually just.
What's our homework, Professor Andre?
I showed it recently at the film nights I do at the brewing company, and it went over like gangbusters. Everyone there loved that movie.
Andre, if I could make a suggestion,
absolutely.
Here locally in Toronto, there is a great curator for the review cinema, Serena Whitley. I'm sorry I butchered her last name. She does a thing called Drunken Cinema, where they do like a drunken party game during movies. So each person gets a card and maybe a prop, and they watch movies. They have take-home kits that they have available so that people can do it at home, and they're actually expanding the I think they do it in Waterloo. They've done some in London and also in Montreal. I strongly suggest, and I can connect you, that you contact. It would be great. I think that people in the area would love it.
We should do that. We should do that as a podcast. We'll do it together. That'd be a hoot.
I'd be into it.
I would do it. I usually have a spare card around here.
Are you guys both in? You guys are all in Toronto?
Me and the World Mind are in the GTA.
Well, I know where Davan is, so well, I'm hoping to get up there sometime soon. So we should definitely do that. I would love to go to a nice repertory cinema. That'd be amazing.
You could maybe check out Smash Wrestling too.
100%.
Message them now.
You can compete. You can go in there and kick all the asses.
Message them and say,
Andre, I want to see Andre versus PJ Freshville.
that's a Jason R. That's a Jason R. special. Jason R. special.
Yeah,
I would love to see you versus
see what he could do.
Versus Tyson Dukes. Tyson Dukes.
I love Tyson. I love Dukes. I worked with him a bunch out here.
Oh, that would
Tyson
be a great
is
match,
awesome.
Actually,
I wrestled him before in Halifax, but in Newfoundland we toured a lot together. The Dukes is the man. He's awesome, fantastic.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see the tradition versus TBT. I want to see TBT.
Oh,
versus
TBT.
Yeah.
The tradition versus TBT. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I know some people that go up there for Smash sometimes, and I'd love to do it. So I just don't know who to talk to.
I just want to see PJ Freshville gorilla press Andre.
Sure, I'll do it.
It's all so
bad. A lot of help. A lot of help will be required.
I'm pretty good at posting.
Oh. That would have to be a quick.
Well, I just had a show this past Saturday, and I got put through a table at the end of my match. So, check out. Can you see the scar in the back of my head?
Oh!
There's a little bruiser.
You took one there. Took a little bump.
There's one over here too somewhere, but yeah, so it was a good show, great show.
But
I'd love to come up for Smash Wrestling and hang out in Toronto. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'll come just for the fun and the drinks.
Absolutely. Davin, you
homework.
I know you've been pushing that.
I've been telling Andre I want to show up on one of his wrestling shows as one of like these Jimmy Hart style managers. I just want to be
Davin's
this
like the botanist. He just comes in with a bunch of plants.
Exactly.
The botanist, yes.
You got to pay your dues, Davin. You can't just expect to be part of the show.
You got to work music for like a year before I can get you close.
Yeah, you got to set up a few rings.
Security.
Yeah. Look at you.
You want me to play Marcus Miller at your wrestling show?
I need a good ring crew. You can play Marcus Miller if you want. If you're going to set up the ring for me, that'd be amazing. 100%, I'll do that.
No, man, I saw you bust your toe doing that. Screw that shit.
That was taking it down, and that was because I was wearing sandals like a fucking moron. But it was also like the hottest day of the year. And it's funny because I've never dropped a beam. I've never dropped a beam on my foot, putting together a ring of probably 1,000 times. But the one time I wear sandals is when the beam drops.
The one time,
of course,
my toenail is still never grown back properly. So
no, thank you.
Homework.
Watch Beyond Good and Evil Part 3. That's your homework.
Okay.
You can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show.
Join me.
Look, there's very few people as cool as Jaemeel. There's like Ryan and Daniel. There's 3 cool guys.
Wow, we have 3 Patreon subscribers.
Yeah,
awesome.
Hey, man,
we love you guys.
Pretty much,
love you dearly.
Yeah, you got 3 guys. Pretty much pay for the show. So thanks.
Thank you, guys. You're awesome.
If anyone else wants to join those 3 guys, we might actually put something in our own pockets.
Well, we have those shirts. We got to put those shirts up.
Put the shirts up.
What shirts?
The one. Oh my god!
What shirts?
So
that's the problem.
I sent Davan designs for shirts back in season 3, and said we should do this at the start of season 4. The ones that say,
this one's for you, Morph one.
No, the Magneto was right and the Xavier was right ones.
Oh,
yeah, you don't remember those? Even I remember those.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
make the shirts so I can wear them. I'm going to be at Comic-Con in like a month's time.
Okay. I can send you some business cards to pass out for the podcast.
I will gladly do that.
Yeah, I should do that.
All right. Fine, I'll get on those shirts. Resend me those because I have no idea where those
I need stickers to sticker bomb the city.
I can do stickers. At my work, I can make stickers.
Oh yeah, well I want to get a few. I want X-rated stickers.
You never told me if you got the ones I sent you with my wrestling ones. Did you get them?
I got those. Yeah. I sent.
How many have you handed out?
Ex-Goon Ryan, who won our contest, he got some free.
You wanted one for yourself? Do you have your 3 Andre stickers?
Yes, I have my 3 Andre sticker sets. I just haven't figured out where I'm going to put them yet. Maybe on my guitar.
On your car.
No, my guitar is way
I have
more.
one on my car. My wife noticed it the other day. She's
You
like,
don't
"What's
want that on
that?"
my truck.
Like, it's a little laundry that'll follow you everywhere.
My guitar has no stickers, so I'll gladly put that as my first sticker on my guitar.
Oh,
Mine doesn't either, actually.
there it is.
I see it in the background there.
My case has lots, but
Send me your mailing address, Andre. I'll send you a sticker for your guitar.
all right.
Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts, and of course, please like, review, and subscribe. And we are a proud member of these United Federation of Podcasts.
A federation,
which
you say?
features many great shows, such as
many.
Federation. We have a federation.
50%.
That's what I want. I want an
50% of
X-rated
it is here
sticker
right now.
I want an X-rated sticker, and I want a sticker of this.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Even that I designed
And
both
of course,
those logos, so I have them.
Yeah, exactly. So we have Hold Up a Movie podcast, which Andre and Jaemeel very much enjoy, and Murphy and I enjoy less than those two because we actually have
The
to
ones
watch
who do
those
it.
movies. Yeah, exactly. And the Super Mater Brothers, of course, where they review your reality shows and whatnot. Where we also have the Mary Mater Marvel Society, where we just did our Across the Spider-Verse review. Jaemeel very much liked the movie. Dave. The funny thing about Dave is he always talks like he doesn't like a movie, and then he gives it like a 9.
Yeah,
Unless it's the
it
American
confounds me every time.
Unless it's the American president.
And then it's a 10.
It's a 12.
A 12.
I love that conversation. I love that because at one point during that talk, Dave's just like, "You guys just don't like romantic movies," and I was listening to the podcast the whole time, and I was
He tells me to get therapy. I just like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to get therapy for not liking the American
well, it's
president.
funny because there's
starring
something else too where you brought it up, and I remember
Michael Douglas.
I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, I just don't think Davan and Chris like romance movies, and then but he
No, not
really does.
bad wooden romances. That is the most wooden romance in the history of film.
I like a good romance film, but that's a chalk mine of a romance film. It's the driest, whitest
the word you kept
romance in
using,
all
chalk.
of history.
The best romance movie ever made, the best
It's a
romantic
chalk
comedy
line.
ever made was Grosse Point Blank, and you'll never convince me otherwise. What's your choice?
I don't.
Jaemeel?
Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element.
Yep.
That's not a romance,
bro. Like when I think of romance, even though I wouldn't necessarily like put this, I would say The Sound of Music. Right?
Oh, that's a musical.
That's why, like, it's the first thing that comes up to mind. I would probably have
Neil
to think
loves
of,
musicals.
I would say it's either Grosse Point Blank or When Harry Met Sally, but that's just for romantic comedies.
Yeah.
No, it's The Apartment starring Jack Lemmon.
Which won an Oscar, by the way. You guys shit all over that movie, and I'm like, I haven't
It's
seen
terrible.
it, but I'm like, I know people like it.
Actually,
No,
the real
it's
answer is
terrible.
Dr. Zhivago.
Lords of Arabia.
You looked it up. You looked that up. I don't even buy that.
You know what?
That
No. To be fair, I actually watched Dr. Zhivago when my grandfather rented it like ages ago, and it was
Actually, I thought that
so
was very
bored.
sweet when you talked about how you and your grandfather used to watch movies together, and that was sort of the start of that. So I was like, that was very touching.
Oh, thanks.
One thing you guys don't do, by the way, very often is horror movies. So you should definitely do more of that.
We have a ghost theme coming up next season.
Well, that's
Ghost Dad.
Yes.
I've seen Ghost Dad probably 10 times.
Let's do Bill Cosby movies. We got Ghost Dad.
No. You know what's sad? There's a pizza place here in Halifax that Bill Cosby liked, so they always had to quote of Bill Cosby on
They
their
took
window.
that shit down, right?
No, they just erased the Bill Cosby part, so they kept his quote, and now it's just a nameless quote. Freeman's.
Anonymous.
Oh, really? That's funny.
It says the best pizza in town in quotes.
Oh,
and
is
now
that the
with
one?
nothing
Is that the one
underneath
in Dartmouth? That's
On
like that
Quinpool.
used to
it's
be
in
across
Halifax.
from.
It's
No, the one on
no.
Quinpool.
There's also one
I was
right by
thinking of the
the
pizza
Metro Center.
Okay, quick wild story. All right, you remember Ralph's Place, the strip club, like back in the day in Dartmouth? And there's a
Yeah, you used to be the
pizza
DJ
joint
there,
that's a-
DJ Classy
Yes,
Bills.
I
This
did.
is DJ Classy
That's right,
Bills
baby,
from the
DJ
strip
Classy
club.
Bills.
You were a
So
DJ
one night,
at Ralph's?
I was a
Yeah,
DJ
he
at Ralph's
was.
Place. Yes, I was DJ
God.
Classy
Classy
Bills.
Bills.
Come out for your dance. You put
You've
your
never
ladies'
seen a
tunes,
Classy
you're
Bill at
always
Ralph's.
Classy Bills on the dance floor for the ladies of Ralph's Place. But one night after I was leaving a shift, I was going to the bus stop across the street waiting, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like a SWAT team of cop cars pull up to the pizza joint, go inside with like MP5s and everything, and they were all armed up and ready. And I'm not quite sure why. I just remember seeing a whole SWAT team show up, and they were like MP5s and just like waiting for something, and then my bus showed up, and I hopped on and left.
Out of here. What years were you the DJ at the Ralph's?
Why were you there at a certain time, Andre?
I know. I'm curious. We may have crossed paths at one point.
I've never been to a strip club myself.
I don't know. Do you know Jason Balcom? He was like one of the security.
No, I don't know
guards,
anybody that
big
was
guy.
there. One time my girlfriend dumped me, and my friends kidnapped me and took me to Ralph's, and that was the only time I ever was there. Actually, no, one time for a friend's bachelor party. That was the only 2 times.
I want to say 2006-ish. It was a time when I can't remember the exact time, but yeah,
It's gotta be a little later than that. It's got to be more
maybe
like
a little later
2010.
Yeah, it was when I was living at the Brunswick apartments there. Yeah, definitely maybe 2012, some point around that. I'd have to go back. I'll DM you about it.
No, maybe in 2006, but not 2012. Definitely not.
Okay, Andre, to answer your question, I thought about it. Strictly Ballroom would be my choice.
You mentioned that a few times when you were on the other podcast. I remember thinking that sounded interesting. I'll have to watch it.
I love Strictly Ballroom.
Right.
That's
pick is RoboCop.
Yeah, great romantic.
When he shot the dude in the dick, right? That was the most romantic part.
Yeah,
the most romantic thing I've ever seen.
Little 12 gauge
Trivia debates. Look, it was more romantic than the American president. Trivia debates. We have. You know what? What else
Dave's
we got?
just crying.
He's playing hockey right now. That's why he didn't show up for CameoFest 1990. What's going on over on them there graphic history?
I gotta make more of those.
Well, I just discovered.
Yeah, make us an X-rated one, maybe.
Jaemeel, this might make you happy. The Blackening has made $7 million over the weekend.
That's not very much.
It is for that type of movie. It is.
It is for
that type of 7 million.
Yeah.
7
million. I'm really excited to see it. It looks really fun.
My friend saw it like last year, and she's been really pushing it hard, saying, "Hey, everyone should check it out." A lot of the horror fans in my group have been checking it out. I'm slow to watch it. So I'll try to make sure I see it this weekend.
I'll probably have to go to Halifax when I'm set for it. Anyway, the show, we just had an episode dropped on Monday. I changed my format to be Monday openings just because sometimes I'm really busy and the weekend gives me a little extra time to get ready before the Friday. The episode was the live one we did. We're at the East Coast Comedy Expo with Troy Little and Jim Zub, in which we talk about their collaboration on the Rick and Morty Meat Dungeon series. Yeah, it was fun.
And just quick question about that one. Is that one just purely audio, or is there a video version of that at all?
No,
it's just purely audio.
All of this shit is all audio.
I thought about doing the Patreon thing with video, but because I do have the video for most of my interviews, because I do it all on Zoom. But I haven't got around doing that yet, so maybe someday.
I made a quick easy thing to give to your patrons.
I made quite a few. Talked to quite a few people at that Comic Con and gave out cards and stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll have a few of the guests on the show. One was Michael DeAdder, who does a lot of political cartoonist here for the Chronicle Herald.
A legend.
Yeah, and
perhaps the greatest of all satirical artists.
I'd love to have him on the show. He seemed very open to it. There are a few other folks I met there as well that seemed cool. So I'll probably have announced that very soon. Probably tomorrow I'll get that nailed down, hopefully. So.
And eventually Jaemeel will be on someday, maybe.
6 years from now, Jaemeel may appear on the show when he answers my message.
And next week I should have some interview announcements for this show, I think.
Ooh.
Jaemeel will be on this show.
Jaemeel will come on this show, yeah.
I'm here on this show actually right now.
That's right. I was going to say you got him. You got him before me, and I messed him 6 months ago.
You have to say some like a lot of egregious things, and then I just get angry and just show up.
I can do that.
It works. We call it.
Is there a particular minority or group that you feel strongly about?
Also, some corrections that happened early in this episode.
World Mind. You mentioned it's like the Mondo of blah blah blah. You can just replace Mondo and just say Funko instead.
Funko, yeah. Well,
because Funko owns Mondo now.
I think Criterion's been around a lot longer than Mondo. You would say
a lot longer.
Mondo's the Criterion of horror of cult movies.
But like, I was trying to get his head wrapped around the idea because Mondo's very synonymous with like one of a kind poster artwork and
not anymore.
Artwork and stuff like that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Sadly,
that is true.
My Superman Mondo poster is probably getting to be worth something nowadays. It's like the Brandon Ruth Superman.
Like, they have one at Spin It in Moncton of the Wicker Man. That's like they want $300 for it, and I want it so badly. The original Wicker Man, not the Nicolas Cage one. But I also can't justify spending $300 on a poster. But it's so fucking cool.
I have more than once.
Patrons.
I have lots of Blu-ray sets. I have lots of Blu-ray sets that are stupidly expensive.
Patrons, would you like Andre to own a $300 poster? You can donate.
Send me $300 now. I'll send you a picture of me with it.
Clockwork Orange posters like $150.
Devin's trying to get this show done.
We're
off track.
Easily our longest episode ever.
That's what I do.
CameoFest 1996. We have Eamon on track. I'm gonna go on there and talk about reggae.
I congratulated Davan for having the shortest episode of your guys' other show. When I saw it was under 3 hours, and then when somehow we made this
under
one
2 hours,
almost 3. Yeah, it was under 2 hours, and then we made this one into close to 3.
I'm supposed to be on Twitch. I'm scheduled for Twitch at 10 o'clock.
All right.
Well, we're getting out of here. We also have the Hellbound podcast. Get your horror fix. They talk about horror sometimes.
Michael Chan and Kyle Blackburn.
Live long and podcast.
Is that on hiatus? Because they haven't done new episodes since March.
Probably.
Right.
I think Michael Chan's doing a bunch of ADR currently, so he's probably
for the wildly successful YTV show.
On YTV, he's got lots going on.
Oh, he has the Star Trek Discovery card set was released recently.
Pretty hyped about that.
The unboxing, where in the unboxing, the guy got Michael's card and just started to freak out. It's awesome.
He's like, this guy follows me on Instagram.
He follows me.
That's awesome. It's really funny. And we also have lots of Star Trek content over at Live Long and Podcast. Check it all out. We just
I love how this whole nation
Class L probe.
I love how this whole federation is like 90% Star Trek, and there's like a little pocket of non-Star Trek stuff. I'm happy to be one of those.
And you know what? I'm half of that pocket too, so I'm everywhere in this thing, though. Yeah.
Strange New Worlds on Thursday. Come check out episode 2 review with us. We're gonna have guest Jennifer Lee Rossman joining us for the discussion. She's a very funny lady who I follow on Twitter. She's got really excellent reviews of Star Trek in these like tweet form versions. She'll like show a screen capture and then just make the funniest caption to go with it. She's been rewatching. She's been discovering and watching Voyager and reviewing it.
Oh,
like
the Voy.
It's hilarious.
Voyager's great.
Caitlin Mulgrew. Yeah, Jennifer's gonna be
okay.
Great.
As you guys are Star Trek fans, and my knowledge of it is pretty normal as far as like I'm a huge Deep Space Nine fan. It's my favorite Star Trek series.
Just started watching it. Good stuff.
What is your one thing that came out of Star Trek you feel could be mined in a much cooler way than has been already? Mine is the Hirogen. They don't do enough of the Hirogen. They were cool. It's basically Predators in Star Trek. We need more of that. Hirogen.
See, I would have said the Gorn, but they're doing that in Strange New Worlds now.
Yeah,
they did it in Enterprise too. They had a whole episode where they're showing up against the Gorn.
They had one episode with a Gorn in it.
And it was like the Mirror Universe Archer, but still.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count. They do entire like seasons and 2-parters on other.
I think the Hirogen and also Species 8472 were both pretty cool.
8472. I would say prior to the last season of Picard, I would have said AI. But I'm tired of AI. I'm tired of the Borg and computer intelligence in Star Trek right now. We need a break. Let's get a little bit more humanity not humanity, but like personal, like flesh and blood, conflicts that we see explored instead. Then maybe we can explore AI and what it means to current society.
Good point. I like that. And the Hirogen.
That's what.
And
On that, I'm going to end this show, boys, and the Hirogen because they hunt stuff. and Andre wants to see them chase people down and kill them.
I didn't say that. I just say I think they were cool.
That's what they do.
If you put the Predator in the Star Trek universe, you should have.
Yeah,
some
they're
more
the
fun with
Predator.
that. Yeah, no, that's what's fun about them. I think they're cool.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would have said the Dominion, but they brought them back in Picard. So
did they?
Well, no, they brought back Changeling.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want Avery Brooks back as Cisco. Did you watch that
Me
documentary?
too.
What we leave behind.
What we left behind. Yes, it makes me cry.
Nothing was so
cry a lot.
sad than when the writers' room came up with like a pilot for a reboot of Deep Space Nine, and it was such a great idea, and it sounded so cool. And I'm like, my brain is screaming, why can't we have this? And we're never gonna have it.
Because we can't have good things, unfortunately.
We can't have good things. We can only have easy
Goldsman
things.
Hasn't taken over yet. Once he takes over, then
No, you and your love for who wrote some of the worst episodes of Picard.
Hey,
Let go. Let go your Akiva Goldsmith thing.
Aren't all of Picard's episodes?
He's not the guy.
Akiva Goldsmith?
He's not the guy, Murphy. Yeah, Murphy thinks Akiva Goldsmith is the guy to head Star Trek over. He doesn't get it. No, he's like the last guy you want to take this, man.
It's like, thank you for your contributions.
He's the one that keeps saying that he wants to bring back DS9.
No, that's
you want
Terry
him to bring it
Metalis.
back in a very bad version because that's what would happen in my opinion.
That's what Akiva Goldsmith would do. Yeah, give Star Trek to Mike McMahon and Terry Metalis. Right
Give it
now.
to Andre Myatt. That's who they should give it to.
Sure.
Give
You
it
know
to
what?
Live
I'll be
Long
fine
and
with that.
Podcast. Andre doesn't know enough about Star Trek.
Yeah,
that would
you
be very
say that
insulting
until
to
you
me.
get the American president in space, okay?
The first thing I would do is
Okay, don't give it to Live Long and Podcast.
Listen, I just like to say that if I ran Star Trek, the first thing I do is hire all three of you to work on the show. So.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
That would be nice.
I'll edit it. That's probably where my skill set will lie. I'll edit the thing.
Davin, you can
You know
come
what?
up with inappropriate racist jokes, and Jaemeel, you can fix those, and we'll do that. We'll continue
I'll
that.
probably make some and miss some. It's like, you can't say
point
that. I'm
out
like,
of
damn,
the
I can't.
homogenization of music. That's all.
All right, Davin will be in charge
All
of the soundtrack. We'll have just all bass lines.
Marcus Miller. Yes, we will.
They're like, we're going to a new planet.
will. All right. You know what, everybody? Catch you
John
next
and
time.
Frakes
Next time.
solo.
Look like we arrived too late, Shell.
1, 2, 3.